I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Oh, well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Friday. It's Friday, and generally we wouldn't be here. We shouldn't be here. We're normally not here on a Friday, but we were not able to get with you all like we generally do throughout the week. We had 2 nights where we missed. One was my fault. Not really my fault. I was doing some other work, and so I wasn't able to connect to it because I was working for you people behind the scenes. There's a lot of work that goes into this behind the scenes that you guys would fall over dead. One of these days, I'm going to have to do a 24-hour live feed that just follows me around and shows the day. People would have no clue. So that's happening. That's why we're here. Also, there's just so much going on. And it's Friday. It's a special show. And, you know, I live in a world where I piss people off a lot of the times. I piss people off that don't know me. I piss people off that do know me. I piss off my friends, people I've supported or not supported. I piss those people off, elected officials. And then people who feel like they own part of me. Like generally what happens is the Republicans are in office and I'm like bashing them because of all the stupid shit they're doing. So a bunch of Democrats think like, oh, look, he's one of us. And I'm like, no, I'm certainly not a Democrat. And then when I talk about my feelings about that, they all get mad, but then the Republicans get mad. So I'm fine with everybody just being mad and understand, like we say, one of the things that we say on the show all the time, first of all, we're all adults. We all are capable of having opinions and agreeing and disagreeing. If you like what I say, great. If you don't like what I say, great. It doesn't affect you in any way. You don't have to listen. If you want to listen, you can. Choose not to listen. It doesn't matter. It doesn't hurt my feelings. And it's okay if I say something you don't like today. If we agree 30% of the time, cool. If we agree 80% of the time, cool. If we agree 10% of the time, cool. If one thing I can promise you, I can only promise you 2 things that are 1000% true. And that is, number 1, you will not agree with me 100% of the time. And that is a absolute fact that I can promise you. And promise number 2 is you will not disagree with me 100% of the time. And that's facts. If you say that you agree with me 100% of the time, you're a liar. And if you say that you disagree with me 100% of the time, you're a liar. I feel like there's going to be some people that's probably going to be butthurt about some of this, and I'm okay with that. I'll sleep fine. You like it, you don't like it, whatever. I also read a post today about this from someone who has always in the past, I wouldn't consider us friends, but someone that's came to me and used me. I want to tell you all out there, there are things that go around and whatnot. I am very easily and accessible. You get a hold of me. If you got a question, you got something you want to say to me, or you got something that you want to ask a question of, contact me. It's very easy to get a hold of me. I put my contact up nightly. There's my YouTube account. There's my Rumble account. There's my Facebook account. There is my Political Spotlight account, my Bilbrey account, my X account. There's my phone number. It's a cell phone number. It's a studio line. That's my cell phone number. It rings to me 24 hours a day. There's my email, and there's the show email. It's not hard to get a hold of me. Do not hear people chirping in the background and take it as the gospel. You hear something and you hate me, you like me, you want to roll with it, call me and be a big boy, be a big girl, ask me or say or tell me whatever, and let's argue about it, let's agree or whatever. But to just run with it, specifically when you're somebody who's came to me for help and I've helped you before, that bullshit doesn't fly. And so I just want to lay that out on the record here real quick. Okay, so I'm going to bring two people on, which are probably our two most controversial people that I ever talked to on here. And we're going to do that now. So go ahead before we bring them on and hit the like button now so you won't take it away later. Hit that like button and then I'll tell you what we're doing. So tonight we're going to talk with and bring on, of course, someone that we haven't had on for a minute, and people are gonna be like, "What? It's been just a minute," but it's Dr. Katherine Callahan. She's going to be here. She is. She's caught her off guard. But before we get into her craziness, and we're going to make her wait for a minute, we're going to bring on someone. It's been a couple months, 4 or 5 months maybe, since we've had this person on guard. And this person is always controversial and always here for a good time, and that will be America's Councilman, Ryan Webb.
See, Ryan, listen.
Glad to be
I'm
here.
always here for a good time, but I may not be here for a long time.
So
It's good to see you smile.
Oh yeah, look, hey, he's all smiles.
I'm always smiling. I don't
let
let
nothing
nothing
or
get me
anything.
Hey, I don't take
What happened there?
seriously nothing really. People hating or people loving. I don't get up and I don't get down. It doesn't bother me either way. My life's good no matter what. So it's not let affect me.
It's all good. It's all good. Is that what's doing that? How's that happening? What's going on here?
I don't know. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you. Video's a little funky, but we can hear you.
Listen, I can always hear you.
What are you hearing?
Ryan, all the way over in Madison County, we can hear you.
Hold on. You are buffering pretty
Oh, okay.
hardcore.
Okay. Let me see. I wonder if I can get closer to the internet. Let's do this. I got a spot. I was just chilling on the front porch drinking.
Yeah, you're
beer,
good, bro.
But I got a spot over here close to my internet. We'll go over there. I was gonna get on here from inside my car, but I didn't like the video of that, so I was like, nah, I'm gonna go over here. We'll just chill right here.
He didn't like the ambiance of the Tesla.
I didn't like it. Not for Zoom. I like everything else, but I did not like the Zoom stuff. So
Yeah. Okay, now we can see you there pretty good.
Yeah, I'm a lot closer to my internet stuff now, so we'll just hang tight right here for a minute.
Yeah. Oh yeah, now we can see you. We can hear you. That looks brilliant.
Hey,
Yeah,
I
was smiling.
Yeah, right.
Come over to my house, you get 8 or 9 of them.
Good.
And people think you don't share. Look how inviting you are.
Of course I share. Listen, I share beer. I share knowledge. Listen, I even share definitions. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a lot of controversy. People don't know what a woman is. I wear this to make sure people know. No, I got this. This was a gift. Matt Walsh gave me this shirt from the Daily Wire when I went up there. He gave me a bunch of other things, but yeah, I always wear this shirt when I'm out and about.
You
So.
just instead of wearing that word woman, you just put Katherine across your shirt.
Yeah.
I was in Chicago today, and super liberal place, and people were looking. Nobody said shit. They never say nothing, but they were looking a little bit.
Well, so you've had a busy day today. You were in Chicago. You were in a Muncie Land Bank meeting, and it was a kind of a big day. So, how I guess what we're here for is there's been this big ordeal going on the last couple of weeks, I would say. So I follow pretty much everything that goes on politically in Muncie, Delaware County, all over. And I listen kind of on the periphery to what goes on with the land bank, but that's not something that I'm tuning in. I'm there every month, ready to rock and roll. I follow it every now and then when something's going on, but it's not one of the big ones for me. So
nobody really does.
That's maybe a problem.
Yeah.
Tell everybody what the land bank, what the land bank is supposed to do.
So the land bank is kind of forgotten board. It's a not-for-profit board. A lot of people, a lot of the radical lefties who've been hating on me all this time since I've been on the board, they think it's a government board. It's not. It's a local nonprofit, and what they do is they try to get properties back on the tax rolls. Maybe it's something that was in a tax sale, or sometimes they will even try to accumulate properties if it's within a block of an area they're wanting to put together as a package for development. And then they may work with the city or another nonprofit. They do a lot of collaborations working with people, and they try to get that property developed. Now, that could be like a Habitat for Humanity home to put someone else, in a home there. It could be a business. It could be anything. But the whole idea is to take properties that may be dilapidated, neglected, forgotten about, and bring them back to life. So it's a really good program. It kind of competes a little bit with the Muncie Redevelopment Commission and a few other organizations. They're all kind of doing the same thing, but a lot of other communities have them. They're really good to have, and it's a benefit to the community for the work that they do.
Yeah. Okay. And so, how many people make up the board?
The board has 9 people. 9 people.
Okay.
Well, they got 8 now.
How long are these terms? How long is your appointment?
And so, what are the appointments on the board, and how do the people get on the board?
So the way they set it up, so the city council makes 3 appointments. The mayor makes 3 appointments. I believe the treasurer has an appointment, which is weird, and the board itself makes 2 appointments. My position on the land bank, which I'm still part of for all you lefties out there. I know you think I'm gone, but so my position was appointed by the mayor. I was a mayoral appointee, and my term, I think this is like this for everybody, but my term was a 1-year term. I committed to 1 year. The mayor asked me to do it. I did not ask them. I did not seek this position. I was contacted by the mayor's office asking me, would you serve on this board? And I give the mayor a 1-year commitment to serve the community. So that's how I ended up.
Well, he asked you to be on the board when in December?
Yeah, it was around that time. It's December, November, somewhere towards the end of the year, because the swearing in and everything kicks off in January. So yeah, it was somewhere around that time.
So you've been serving January, February, March, April, and through now. And hold on, normally this doesn't happen, and I don't ever, but I'm getting a private number calling me the third time in a row. Stand by. Hello.
We could just do it ourselves, right?
Hello.
He could just go over there by the side.
He should open up a hater hotline for the derangement syndrome. That phone will be
I'm live. Up. Can you call me back later?
We might just get out of control without him being the referee. Hey, we got this.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
It's so comical to me because these people take the shit so serious, and if they really knew how uninterested I was, well, they wouldn't put so much effort into it. It's just it's just something I do, and it's not my life.
So okay, yeah. So that's I want to. So first of all, I think the land bank does a really good job. I think from everything I've ever heard, they do a really good job. I don't have a problem with the land bank. You always hear they're going to the Muncie Redevelopment Commission and talk. You hear them there, and I think they probably do a good job here in the community. I know there was some controversy when the mayor did not reappoint. There was controversy, obviously, when the mayor appointed you. And I do want to.
What's wrong with Ryan?
I didn't hear that. People were upset?
Yeah, can you believe it? They were just completely all people were all out of whack because the mayor appointed Ryan.
Ryan quit speaking the truth.
Yeah, right.
This is a good time to let a lot of these people who are upset about that. They say, "Oh, we voted him out." First of all, that was one of the closest votes in the history of Delaware County, so we won't even talk about that. But these people get so upset, but what they don't understand is none of them are putting their names on the list to get chosen. The reason you get the same people to go to these boards is because all of these internet warriors who proclaim to be community activists and so caring about their community, they're not stepping up. They're not putting in the work. So then you get people who will step up like myself, and then they get pissed and say, "Oh my God, how do you pick that person?" I'll tell you how, because you didn't put your name on the list.
Yeah,
so if you don't want people like me serving in your beloved land bank, then next time reach out to the mayor, city council, and let them know that you want to be considered to be appointed to a board. And it's not just them. The county commissioners, the county council, they all make board appointments. City council, reach out, put your name in the hat, and hopefully you'll be on a board that someone can hate you for later on as well.
Absolutely. So, okay, the mayor appointed himself to the board and you to the board, and almost instantly he started getting some backlash. I started hearing that members that were on the land bank, they didn't like that the mayor appointed himself, which he can do. The mayor appointed you. And I want to say for the record, this is not just Ryan, saying this. I've reached out to sources and they have confirmed Ryan did not seek this out. The mayor went to Ryan and asked for him to join this board. Ryan said yes, and people were up in arms almost instantly. So I want to ask you really quick before we get into the meat of it. Over the last several months that you've been on the board, have you made any crazy votes? Have you turned anybody down? Did you make fun of anybody? Did you do anything racial or against any kind of protected class or anything like that? Did you do anything wrong on the board?
Oh, no, of course not. When I'm on these boards, I'm very professional. The only vote that anyone may be considered that they didn't appreciate was the land bank wanted to spend more money to hire another assistant for the director, Nate Howard. And I voted against that. Mayor Ridenour voted against that. We were the two no votes. We thought, you guys have been doing this long enough with the budget that you have, make it work. We're not going to take money that's meant to help people get into properties and take that money and spend it on staff. Far too many non-for-profits spending up to 75-80% of their revenue on staff. And I cited that and I said, we're not going to do that here. We were outvoted. They voted to add the position. But that was the only thing that I was really in opposition to everyone else. Look, I'm a controversial person. Everyone knows I have my opinions and I voice those. I never bring those in to the meetings with which I'm holding, whether I was on the county council or the land bank. I don't let my outside influences filter in to those spaces. I don't think it's professional and I don't think it's the venue. Now, I will say this. I felt like the people at the land bank, specifically the board members, were hell bent on bringing my political views and my outside stuff to the board. I was doing what I could to keep it out of there. They were insistent upon bringing it in. And this is, where we got to where we are. And I'll say one more thing real quick before we move forward. So just so you know, when I was appointed by the mayor, at that time, the mayor wasn't going to be on the board. In fact, our conversation was, Ryan, I'm appointing you to this board. Number one is I know you ask a lot of tough questions. That's what you're known for with the city or the county council. The mayor felt with his previous 2 board appointments, Dr. John West and Jason Donati, that they weren't reporting back to him and telling him as they were his appointees. He felt like they should be reporting back to him and saying, this is what's going on with the board. This is where we're at once a quarter, once every couple of months. They never did it, not one time. So he appointed me to be the eyes and ears for the mayor's office. He wanted me to ask questions and report back to him things, progress that was going on. The second thing, and I'm going to say this right now. This has been said many times. The land bank board members latched onto this and they say, it's not our job to teach Ryan how to play nice with others, how to agree with people or work with people who don't share his political ideologies. Well, let me be very, very clear about this. The second reason the mayor appointed me to the board was so the radical leftist board, they're all leftists. They're all far left.
Yeah.
So they would learn, not me. So they would learn to have to work with people who's not within their echo chamber, who's not within the far left or the moderate left or left of anything. They would have to learn to work with somebody who was a Republican, a MAGA Republican at that. That is what I was told. Okay.
So let me ask you something. I hear what you're saying. Were you the only Republican on this board?
No, so that's what I'm getting at. So the mayor appointed another woman. She's kind of one of those rhino Republicans. I don't want to badmouth her. I don't know her very well, but she's not my kind of Republican.
She's not a
kind of
Catherine.
like she's down the middle.
No.
And so I was shocked. Then the mayor appointed himself. So at the time he appointed me, he was never supposed to be there. And that's what I said. Well, hell, he's here now. I don't need to be his eyes and ears. So pretty early, I'll get into this in here in a second. But so he appointed himself. So when all this went down and the mayor was addressing the land bank, he did a little bit of politicking there. Instead of saying, I appointed Brian so everyone could learn to work with others, he kind of let him down easy, let him down soft a little bit. And he put it on me. He said, I appointed Brian so he could learn to work well with others.
And that's what I thought he was going with this. This was a lesson for him, not a lesson for the people.
Yeah.
What he realized is that they can't control Ryan Webb. They cannot stick baby in the corner.
Well, yeah, right.
Yeah, you're not going to control me. I didn't do it for the council. I'm not going to do it for some not-for-profit board. So now I will give the mayor credit. We had an executive session meeting 2 weeks ago. I heard there's an audio recording of the entire thing. I'm not sure if that's true, but he did clarify, because I made it clear that, look, you guys keep saying that it's not your job to teach me. I don't think you didn't hear the whole story. So he did clarify in that meeting that he had said both of us, they learned to work with me and I learned to work with them. That was the compromise. I understand how politics work. I wasn't offended by that in any way. So fine. I have to learn to work with them too. We'll take it. And I never said a word about it. But if you listen to them, they've hung on that. And they keep saying, oh, it's not our job to teach them or whatever. It was never about that, people. It was about you having a little balance to the board, because it's not balanced. And, having someone in there who's going to ask questions. We knew from day one there was going to be an uproar. He knew when he appointed me. He knew what I was about. He knew what I brought to the table. And, listen, people get mad. The mayor wouldn't have appointed me if he didn't have similar viewpoints to my own. It's that simple. And, you know what I bring, and that's what I did. I brought it.
Well, yeah. And I heard, I don't know exactly who it was. I think it was the maybe Nate. Who's the main man up there?
Nate Howard is the director. Super nice guy.
Nate Howard.
Incredibly dedicated to the cause.
Sure.
Most of those board members are. They're all in, man. This is like the most important thing in their whole lives. So they're into it.
Yeah. I think I kept hearing him say, he said it today, and I've heard other people say that he keeps talking about, this isn't about First Amendment. This is about responsibility. And when I hear somebody say that, I know that this is a person that I need to look at. I mean, when you're talking about, well, this isn't, the first time I hear someone say, well, this isn't about the First Amendment, that's not important here. I gotta like, scared. Wait, stop. Yeah, first of all, that's crazy to me. Yeah, that's nuts.
It was political. They know that. They have to say that. But everyone knew that this is where we were going to end up. They, from the moment I was appointed, were trying to think of the way to get me out of there. And they come up with this plan to have this code of conduct. And the very next meeting, they found something that they got outraged by with their fake outrage and said, oh, this is it. You got to go. Again, I've posted that thing multiple times. No one batted an eye about it because, it is what it is. It's the truth. It's their flag.
Sure.
I didn't create it. I revealed it to them.
Sure.
So this was just what was going to happen. It didn't matter what the issue was.
It could have been anything. It could have been anything at any time. And
Absolutely.
if they could have got you 3 months ago, they would have. Or 6 months ago, if they could have stopped it or barred. I mean, I heard people talking about wanting them to kick you off and wanting the mayor to re-poll back on the appointment in January.
Oh yeah.
And
So how long have you been on this altogether?
6 months.
6 months. 6 months. Yes.
And who are they replacing you with?
We don't know that yet.
I don't know. Maybe
This is even more. Oh, this tells the true story then.
Well, we haven't got there yet.
Yeah, we're not got there yet.
Yeah, I'm not gone yet. They just started the process. They have to do this for consecutive months. Huh, baby. They have to do it multiple months in a row. And it has to be a 2/3 vote 2 consecutive months. So this was just the beginning of the process. I know the lefties are celebrating like they won the war, but it's not quite that. We're not quite there yet.
So this is what I want to say. I'm not a Delaware County resident, and clearly the mayor is the person who appoints, right?
Yes. Well,
so this is what I want to say to the mayor if he's watching. You are now going to show how broken the process is. Because here's the thing. If you're removing Ryan Webb because of freedom of speech, that's a big problem because that's really ultimately what this is, right?
Well, yeah.
So, freedom of speech should be happening all the time.
Freedom of speech of the truth.
Don't
forget that. It's the truth.
In my opinion, it's viewpoint discrimination.
Yeah, that's all
what's happening here. This is viewpoint discrimination. So really quickly, in case people are watching that don't know, essentially what's happened is you make no bones about the fact that you are a conservative Republican, a MAGA Republican. You are not someone that hides your feelings about lots of different things. And one of the things that you talk about is your opinion on what would be considered the LGBTQ, like trans movement, that whole thing.
Well, and not the LGBTQ. I have no problem with that. It's not the LGBT. It's the TQ that I have the problem with. It's the trans movement. I think the trans movement is an evil, hate-filled movement that seeks to undermine the family values of America. And I'm going to expose that whenever I get an opportunity, just like they promote it and try to normalize it. I refuse to allow them to normalize evil that will undermine family values. And because of that, I've been called a homophobe, a transphobe. I could give two shits. If you're gay, live your life. I don't care if you're trans, live your life with that. But I'm not going to accept it as normal when it's not. It undermines the family values and the family unit. And, I'm not just going to sit back and stay quiet when that's happening.
So I want to ask one important question. As a member or director on this board, whatever they call themselves, have you voted to deny a person that is LGBTQ or trans to get a home or to work with someone? Have you said, no, I'm not going to work? Did the person that they wanted to hire as the second assistant, was that a trans person? Did you in some way, in any way, stop something or do something with a trans person?
No, of course not. And I never would do that. Why? I would never discriminate against someone because they're trans. I'm not going to treat someone different because they're trans. What I'm just simply saying is I'm not accepting what you're trying to tell me is normal. That doesn't mean I'm going to discriminate against that person, treat them less than fair. Listen, I have tremendous empathy for people who are truly trans and feel that they're in the wrong body, and maybe they've fallen for a social contagion. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm not going to treat them or deny them any services that they would get if they were anything else. So that's the misconception that people like to paint that brush or paint me with that brush. Listen, that's not me. I'm not that guy. I'm just saying, don't sit there and tell me that this is perfectly normal. It's perfectly fine. And if I don't accept it, I'm a transphobe. I'm saying live your life. You're probably a wonderful, nice person. I think Charlize is a funny person, probably a very nice person. And we could probably hang out and drink beers and have a great time together. But the second when he would say, okay, Ryan, we're having a good time. Now I need you to acknowledge me that I'm a real woman. That's where I say, well, I can't do that. We can still drink beer and hang out and kick it and have a great time. But I'm not going to say that you're a woman when you're not.
And I'm going to tell you, I have to agree with Ryan. There's a lot of posts that Ryan makes. I agree with him. I mean, and I'm going to say it like on here, I'll never be okay with putting litter box in high schools and kids wanting to act like cats. It's just never going to happen. You're not going to get that. If you don't like it, don't come to my practice, because that mentality, while that's great, if you want to foster that as a parent, but I'm going to tell you right now, in the future, you're going to foster a lot more. I mean,
I didn't even know that was really, I always just thought that was bullshit. I didn't know that would really happen. If that's
really in Hamilton County, absolutely.
Seek therapy. Because that's
absolutely.
Not,
And then I see these kids and I'm like, what do you say? I mean, you got to bring kids back to reality. They're not animals.
I think the most respectful thing I can do for you is to be honest with you.
Yes,
I've built my career on it. I say when I was elected, I was the most transparent and truthful elected official. You're never going to have to wonder where I stand. And I'm not being disrespectful to you. I'm being truthful to you. And sometimes the truth can seem insensitive. I use this example at the last Muncie Land Bank meeting. If I put on this shirt and I ask my wife, hey, does this shirt make me look fat? And she goes, you're 240 pounds. It's not the shirt that's making you look fat. All right. Now, is that offensive? Probably. Might have hurt my feelings, but is it true? Yeah. I mean,
here's the
I'm
thing.
240. It's not the shirt. I'm a fat bastard. That's what it is. So I'm not mad at her for pointing that out.
And I have a feeling that your parents kind of molded you to this. And I was talking to a friend tonight, and I said to him, my mom says to me, I don't really know how you can counsel people on weight loss, because look at you. Now, I don't think I'm very fat, right? But I am slightly overweight. So
it's because you guys are Asian, man. That's that.
I'm almost 50. So most of my life, I was the smaller guy and ripped and in shape. And I'll be the first to tell you, I just don't do the workout, and I refuse to stop drinking beer. That's me. I mean, I drink 100 ounces of Mountain Dew a day, 10 tall boys in the nighttime. And the only time I run if it's raining and I got to get to my car. Outside of that, I would be fucking ripped. That's
okay.
I'm 48.
So I want people to know, because I don't want to mislead anybody in any way, and I want to make sure that we're getting the exact I want to make sure that everyone has the truth. That's what you're saying. That's important, and I do agree with you. So the thing that got you in the most hot water here is something that, number one, you didn't create. It's just a meme, a post that you've shared. Lots of other people have shared it. And I'm sure a lot of people have seen this picture. I'm going to trigger warning for anyone that's offended or worried about things like this.
I want to see it. I haven't seen this.
I'm going to put this up on the screen. So if you're worried or triggered or whatnot, just FYI, we're putting this up on the screen. So here it comes. So the picture that you're going to see here on the right-hand side, okay, this picture over here is the LGBTQ pride flag, and it's got like all of the different colors, and I don't know exactly, pardon me for not knowing what all of these colors represent, but it's the pride flag. And what's happened is there's been an individual who took the pride flag and shaped it in a way and put four of them together that made the following picture on the right-hand side. And so they've just put them end to end to end. And as you can see here, the dark color part here makes what looks like a swastika. Okay.
I never would have gotten that had you not pointed that out.
Yeah,
well, that's the thing with evil movements. They have their imagery hidden, but it's revealed. I didn't create that. I revealed it. And that's what happens when there's an evil movement. The evil is right in front of your face, and it is in this flag.
Okay, and so what I want to say with this is, Ryan, I've seen Ryan post this many times, a handful of times, 3-4 times at various other points over, say, the last maybe couple of years. Okay. And I'm sure that there's been a number of people that have griped about it when he's posted it. I'm sure people have commented, but I never really heard anybody really do anything more than what normally happens. However, right around the same time that Ryan posted this, Ryan also announced that not only is he on the land bank, but he also announced that he is seeking office in this upcoming election. And so that that was out there at the same time. And one of the things that I've heard from a bunch of these people is they're saying the fact that you shared this, they're worried because you're a MAGA that you are a Nazi, and they are so incensed by this.
Nobody
I do want to
believes
say,
that.
though, what's crazy to me is
they don't really believe that.
I've been to a couple of these protests, and I see the people on the left drawing the swastika on and calling lots of other people swastika, putting them on their protest signs. So it's kind of one of those things that it's okay if I put it on my sign to protest, but if you protest it or use it to protest, it's a problem. So that I don't really like. I think I have an issue with that.
Well, they tried to pretend like the mere posting of the Nazis was so offensive to them that they just couldn't take it, and they were actually trying to label me like I was a real Nazi and supported Nazi views. And I was trying to explain, no, you're not understanding. I think your movement is evil, and I'm showing you that your own flag has the Nazi symbol within it. And you're right. They're fine with it when they're making their symbols and they're making their flags and they're making their signs about Trump and Elon. And I'll even go a step further. All these people on the board who criticize me and say you have to remain professional, I know for an absolute fact that at least 2 of them have made posts, offensive posts on Facebook, but they hide under the name of Anonymous 8145 or whatever. I put my shit out there and stand behind what I say. So I'm the same way. You can't claim the moral high ground when you're doing the same thing I'm doing. You're just hiding behind an anonymous chicken shit post. You're doing the same thing. You're fighting for your movement. You're fighting for your side, but you don't got the balls to put your name on it. So I laugh when I hear these guys trying to claim the moral high ground and talk down to me like I've somehow broken this sacred code of professionalism in my own private life that has nothing to do with the land bank when they do it all the time. They do it. They just do it anonymously.
Sure. And
so let me ask this. So 6 months ago when you were appointed to this board, have you ever posted this same picture within this 6 months?
No, but listen, when they were showing all this stuff and they were like, they had a whole slideshow. They had like 9 or 10 of my things. And I was looking at it, trying to figure out what the hell they were mad at. I said, I post this shit every day. Like I post this every day, every month.
Right.
Like, I don't understand what you're all of a sudden upset about. This is what I always say.
Let me ask you this. So you haven't posted this before in the last 6 months. In the year prior to January, have you ever posted controversial stuff?
There's people have said so. I don't think it's controversial.
Okay.
I mean, I've been accused of it.
Okay, very well. So you knew what you were getting with Ryan Webb.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, you have a problem? It just doesn't make sense to me.
There's one important thing that people should know. I learned this during this executive session. There are at least 2 board members. I'll call them out by name. Brad King.
No one gave you a heads up.
No one's ever called me in this whole 6 months. Not one phone call. Never upset of anything I've said. They've apparently been flooded with complaints this whole time. Not one call. No one's ever said one word to me. Nothing. And that's what I tell everybody. Look, I'm a grown up. If you feel some type of way, call me. We'll talk about it. People call me all the time. We discuss it. Sometimes we see eye to eye. Sometimes we don't. But what I wanted to say real quick is during that executive session, it became very obvious, and anyone who's heard the audio will understand this, that at least through John West and Brad King, their issue really wasn't with me. They have unfinished gripes with the mayor. They are absolutely pissed at the mayor because John West was my position. The mayor chose not to reappoint him. They then the land bank manipulated the situation. They got one of the city council appointments to resign, and then the city council reappointed John West. But during this meeting, when they're supposed to be addressing whatever it is that I apparently upset him about, John and Brad both immediately turned their anger to the mayor, and it was, you didn't tell us who you're appointing until 5 minutes before you post. Why didn't you answer my phone calls when I called you about not getting reappointed? I want to it was like some breakup scene stuff that they needed closure about.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it, at least for some of them, isn't so much about me. They're still fired up about the mayor, and he's probably going to have to deal with them in the future.
Oh, yeah.
And this was just a lightning rod for them to kind of get back at the mayor by attacking his appointee.
So that's Brad King, who worked in City Hall and
who was fired
from City Hall,
yeah.
Rightly or wrongly. I don't know what the conditions of that was. I had people getting a hold of me. I remember it, but it's been a while ago. I've slept since then. But he was let go from City Hall under this mayor's term. So this mayor, he was let go during this Mayor Ridenour's term in office. And then Dr. John Fisher,
John West.
Excuse me.
John West is the chair of the urban planning department at Ball State.
Okay.
And listen, I never called them out before, but when I was appointed, his own wife was constantly messaging me, private messaging me and shit. And I kept that between us, and I never put it out there or whatever. But I've been dealing with their own unprofessionalism. They've been, you know what I mean, coming after me because they're upset they weren't reappointed. And then a month later, the city council appointed him. Because they live for this shit. They live for it. It almost killed them to not be reappointed.
The mayor, he wasn't reappointed by the mayor. And it was such a disheartening thing that they had a council member, appointment of the council to resign so they could reappoint this guy that didn't get reappointed. And
not only was he not reappointed, he was like the godfather of the land bank. And not only was he not reappointed, but then I took his place. So it was like they were pissed, man. They were upset. Like
removing you, they're not going to stop being mad at the mayor. And now that you're gone, you were like the shield for the mayor. Now the mayor is going to have to eat a bunch of shit because you're gone. And it's going to be interesting for Dan on this to see how he deals with this.
Almost gone.
Yeah,
So as a person who's really not been in politics very long, like you guys, if I'm a person from the outside looking in, there's a couple issues here, and I hope the viewers can kind of relate with me. Number one, what Ryan has done is he's become a sacrificial lamb.
Yep.
In turn, what Ryan has shown the people is the process is broken.
Yep.
What he's showing the people is there is no due process that's actually taking place like government's supposed to be.
Oh, no, because this is the first step. The first step was you're gone. They didn't nothing else. We never talked about nothing.
So he never got due process. And so what Ryan's also showing you is this is how they stack a deck. And this is how they continue their corruption.
Yeah.
This is how the cartel and the cabal continue to, prey on the people. And so I think that, I know you don't like this. I think this is a great thing that's happened to Ryan because what he has done is he has exposed how this is actually working. And hopefully he will continue to point out all their flaws.
Oh, yeah.
So that we can all see.
I don't think
when
he's
we go
going
to vote.
Oh, yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I know the left is celebrating. They think they've conquered something. But listen, anyone who knows me, who I'm friends with, I've been telling my friends and my wife for at least 3 to 4 months, I didn't even want to be on this freaking land bank. It's more of a hassle to me than anything. I got these idiots trying to call my job and make trouble for me and cancel me and all this shit. I don't need it. I only did this because I made a commitment to the mayor. He asked me to do it. I made a 1-year commitment. I told my wife, I was like, if I hadn't committed him, I would have stepped down and resigned a long time ago. But I didn't want to back out of a commitment that I made to the mayor. So now that we're along this process, this is fine for me,
Well, so
don't resign.
Well, hold on, wait.
Push this all the way out.
Wait, hold on. I want to say this first. So we're just jumping ahead, and we're going to get ready to wrap up here because we've got other things we got to talk about. But I do want to mention this is very important. So first and foremost, what he said about why I don't want people to think like, oh, they're kicking him off, so he's like, I don't want to be here. What he means by that is this board doesn't meet in person, face to face. This board meets over Zoom. And so because of that, the board meets at 9:00 in the morning. Well, a lot of people may or may not know Ryan is up and driving. Ryan is he's a driver. He drives, long hours. He was in Chicago up and back today. And so a lot of times what happens for this board is at 9 o'clock, while he's on the road, he's got to pull over and go in and find a hotel lobby where he can go in and set up, or a Starbucks, or sometimes he pulls over into a parking lot and would set up in his truck and go live from his truck. And because people simply hate his... Now, think about this. They're worried about Ryan hating people for their beliefs and the way they think. But because people hate Ryan for his beliefs, they saw him in his truck and they called his place of employment to get him in trouble for doing this while driving, or, that's just absolutely insane. So that's what he means when he says this was a kind of a pain in the ass and it was more trouble than what it was. And he was only fulfilling his obligation to the mayor and his commitment to the mayor. But being on the board was actually more trouble than what it was worth, because you've got idiots out here trying to get him fired at his real job, how he feeds his kids. And Ryan's post of swastika pride flags is not causing anyone to not be able to eat. It's not getting anyone kicked out of their house because they can't pay their house bill. I just want people to kind of watch what the double standard is there.
But I want people to understand that our increased assessed values, all the taxes, that's causing us not to be able to eat.
Sure.
So what's more criminal?
One thing also, to piggyback on a little bit of what he said there, I work 15 hours a day. I just got home from Chicago.
Yeah, right.
I left at 5 o'clock this morning, so I work 15 hours a day. So when I pull over and have to do an hour meeting or whatever, it just adds to my day. And I know a lot of the people criticize me wouldn't know what to do with a 15-hour day. But to me, that's just a normal day.
Just a normal day.
But one of the things I just real quick wanted to highlight, and I don't want to take up the whole show for you, but there were three things in particular that they were upset about. All three things were true. And they were upset, obviously, about the swastika thing. I call it the fake outrage. I don't think they're really upset. They just had to find something to be upset about. And so they're upset about that. And, that's their own flag. It reveals it. The second thing, they were upset that they said that I offended the Black culture, because when I was doing a video a month or two ago, and I was talking about the importance of fathers in the homes, and you don't have to look any further to see how the impact is, that I was talking about the fatherless rate in the Black community, and then the things that domino from that, that 13% of the population commits over 55% of the violent crimes, such as rape, robbery, and murder, 75% of the prison population. These are FBI statistics that I shared, right? That's the second thing they cited as me being insensitive to the Black community. All true, all facts. I was making a point about fatherless, absent fathers in the homes and the effects it takes on people. But they tried to use that as to say that I was being somehow offensive to the Black culture, even though it was true and it was a fact. The third thing is they said, I think I referenced, I called some of these lefties who I believe is idiots. I called them window lickers. And I said, they was retarded for saying what they said. I know a lot of people hate that word. My wife hates that word. She's like, she worked in mental health forever. She doesn't like the word. Maybe I shouldn't have said that word, but in the words of Joe Rogan, what are you supposed to say? If you can't say retarded, what are you supposed to say when people do retarded shit? So that's the way I looked at it. And that was the third thing that they got so upset about, was that. Everything else was just typical normal stuff. And it had more to do with my running for re-election. They even said in the comments, he's running again and we have to stop him. I'm running against my neighbor, Jim. Jim's right across the street.
Right.
Jim's my neighbor, right? He lives directly across the street. He's mowing my yard Sunday. I love Jim, but I'm going to take his seat next year. So, but we are friends, and it's a very cordial race. I love him, but yeah, I'm going to go for his spot.
So to clear the record up, because I asked you about the trans and the LGBT situation in your position on the land bank since you've been there over the 6 months. Have you ever denied housing or anything, or voted differently because someone was Black or mentally ill?
No, and I don't even think we've even had any votes like that.
Sure,
but even if we did, I would never do that.
I just wanted to clear the record up. I knew you hadn't. I just want to make sure. Okay, so before we wrap up here, I want to say, number one, I have not heard this yet, but someone got a hold of me by an anonymous call, and people think that it does not happen. It happens all the time. Literally, most people know I'm not live on Fridays normally, and so I think that's why they were calling. But as you can see here, I'm going to show you this right here. I received 3 private phone calls right there. 3 private phone calls right as we were going live. That happens all the time. Somebody here recently, within the last couple of days, called me privately and told me that and I'll tell you for the record, it wasn't Ryan's voice. It was a man, and told me that there is a recording of a meeting. And I don't know if this was a public meeting, an executive meeting, what the deal is, but they said there's a recording of a meeting where they are just kind of slamming you and just coming after you. And that they said that I need to hear it. Now, they said they were going to try to get it to me, but it's not shown up in my email. I've not got this yet. I'm letting everybody out there know. If you're that person that was getting a hold of me, or if you're someone that has this recording, get it to me. I would be interested in hearing it. I am interested in that. So I think it was an executive session, and you had that within the last week or so?
Yes, we had it a week or so ago, and that's the only in-person meeting that we've ever had, and that's because I insisted on it. Nate Howard called me and said, hey, maybe we should all get together. Because I suggested, I said, if people have an issue about it, maybe we should sit and talk about it. And I said, but if we're going to do it, I insist that it's in person. Because if you want to rag on me, and then you're going to have to say it to my face, not over some bullshit Zoom. So we did have an in-person meeting, and for an hour, they all lined up and took their shots. And I sit there like a man and took it. And in the end, stood my ground and said, I stand by what I say. No apologies.
Then after that meeting, this letter came out. I'm going to read this letter here really quickly. And then we're going to get to the big news here in just one second before we wrap up here. So this says, to Muncie Land Bank Board of Directors from Executive Committee. And I got this was sent to me today anonymously. And this says, subject recommendation to remove Director Ryan Webb, which I've always called you America's Councilman. Now I'm going to start calling you Director Webb, I guess. I didn't know this was Director. Okay. So, dear members of the board, the Executive Committee recommends the removal of Director Ryan Webb from the Muncie Land Bank Board pursuant to Section 3.08C of our bylaws, which allows removal by a 2/3 vote at 2 consecutive regular board meetings for any other cause or reason agreed upon by the board of directors. So it takes 2 votes, 2 different months. So they had one today. He's not done. They have to have another one next month. It goes on. The recommendation follows Director Webb's social media post depicting a swastika constructed from the progressive pride flag, along with further derogatory comments targeting the LGBTQ community, people with intellectual disabilities, and Black culture. While individuals have the right to express personal beliefs, board service requires a higher standard, which that's crazy. One rooted in responsibility, professionalism, and alignment with the land bank's mission. This is not about personal rights. That's crazy. That's really crazy to hear that this is not about personal rights. Okay. It's professionalism. It's not about personal rights. It's about upholding the standards and duties that allow us to govern effectively and serve the public well. Although some early criticisms came from individuals with long-standing grievances, concern over Director Webb's conduct has expanded significantly. It now includes apolitical citizens, community leaders, professional stakeholders, such as real estate professionals, lenders, funders, and fellow board members. His actions have brought no benefit to the land bank. This is not about political disagreement. This is about behavior that actively damages the institution he is supposed to support. To be clear, the land bank welcomes board members with diverse political views, personal experiences, and life perspectives. When those perspectives are brought in service of our shared mission, healthy dialogue and differing opinions strengthen our work. But what we cannot accommodate is a board member whose public persona and strategy are rooted in provocation and controversy. While that is his right, the kind of public trolling and inflammatory speech he has embraced is incompatible with the responsibilities of board service. This isn't about rights. It's about responsibilities, a sincere commitment to well-being of the organization, and at a minimum, a commitment to not hinder the land bank's efficiency or the responsible management of its limited resources. Our work is local, it is focused, and it depends heavily on the trust we build with Muncie's diverse communities. When a board member fuels public division around macro-level cultural and political issues, it erodes social capital, one of our most vital resources. It makes it harder for us to do our job. Director Webb's conduct has fractured our board, undermining the spirit of unity and collaboration that has long defined our work. At our June 10th special session, 7 of the 8 board members, as well as our executive director, expressed significant concerns about ongoing disruption caused by his presence. What has always been a mission-aligned board has now been thrown into turmoil. Our ability to govern cohesively and remain focused on our core mission has been seriously compromised. Perhaps most importantly, this is a governance issue. Directors are expected to act with prudence, professionalism, and commitment to the efficient and responsible use of the land bank's resources. Instead, Director Webb's actions have created a persistent and completely unnecessary distraction, draining staff time, damaging long-standing relationships, and diverting both public and philanthropic resources away from the work that we are entrusted to do. And then it goes on here for the two last paragraphs, and it says, Director Webb has offered no apology to the board or the public. He has signaled that his behavior is central to who he is. His refusal to acknowledge the harm caused or to take corrective action only deepens the concern and signals a troubling prioritization of personal ideology and political ambition over the well-being of the organization. This is not a one-time incident, but a pattern of conduct that poses an ongoing risk to the land bank's credibility and cohesion. We do not make this recommendation lightly. We acknowledge Director Webb's right to be who he is and to say what he believes, but that conduct is incompatible with the service of this board. As directors, our duty is to uphold the mission, integrity, values of the land bank, and for the sake of the organization's unity, efficiency, and future, we recommend a vote in favor of his removal. We ask the board to consider this recommendation at the next 2 regular meetings and vote accordingly. Sincerely, Brad King, Chair, Muncie Land Bank Board of Directors, on behalf of the Executive Committee. And so that came out, and that was sent to me today. And then from that, then today they had a vote. And then what happened at that vote? The vote, they all voted against you. They all voted to have you removed, correct?
Well, when you say they, it was unanimous. I voted to have myself removed. So it was a unanimous 9-0 vote. But real quick before we go there, we step back. In that executive session, both Rebecca Hanna, Brad King, John West, multiple ones at the end of their speech begged the mayor to take action and remove me on his own. They did not want to have to go there and make this move. They know that it's unprecedented. They know it's potentially illegal. The mayor's position was, I'm not going to remove him. I may not agree with how he expressed himself, but I am not going to remove him. And my suggestion to you is follow your process and we'll all vote how we want to vote. That's what the mayor said. Maybe if anyone ever hears the recording, it might have a couple words switch, but for the most part, that's what he said. Sure. So when we get into this meeting, I know we needed 3 votes either way, but I was looking at this as I already knew this is what's going to happen. And even if it wasn't going to happen this month, it'll happen either the next month or the next month or the next month. Eventually it's going to happen because their own people, the people on the land bank are good people. They're dedicated to the board. They want to serve the community, but they are all radical leftists. And all the people constantly complaining
Very
are
clear.
their own people.
Sure.
Their own people. You know, they're spending time on this shit. That's their own problem. They should have just dismissed it and said, look, that's a mayoral appointment. It is what it is. But they chose to wrap themselves up and get embraced in this.
Play into it.
So, once the mayor seen where this was going, he's seen that this is going to be a thing. I figured he would vote that way. Now, keep in mind, he had the power to end all this by just removing me. He refused to do that. So when we're voting, he went ahead and voted along with the group, and I also voted along with the group because I see an opportunity to get out as well. I'm not saying that there's anything bad about him. I had no real interest to do it anymore, and if we're going to have this vote, then there's no point. I'll vote with you. Let's get me out of here.
Let's rock and roll.
Let's go. So I'm not sure the mayor wanted to force their hand and make them do it. They could face some litigation over it. I don't think that'll happen. I don't think nobody cares. I know I don't care. It's not that deep to me. So, after the vote, the unanimous vote, that's halfway there. I know the lefties were celebrating. They popped their champagne. They probably didn't even hear the second part, which is we have to do this again next month, right? This is only step one. Then we got to do it. And it has to be consecutive. So if anyone threw a wrench in the spokes next month, they would have to start the process all over again. Right. So if there were 3 votes to keep for me to stay next month, it would have ruined everything. So I'm good with it. Let's move on. No hard feelings. I told everybody vote how you want to vote. I make 0 apologies. I stand exactly where I said from the get-go. I stand behind what I said. I have no hard feelings towards anyone. Vote how you want to vote, and I hope everyone has a good weekend. And then I voted with them. After that, I see no point to move on any further. And they didn't know this in the meeting.
How'd you go sideways? Hold on, you went sideways.
Hell, I don't know. I'm not laying down. Let me turn it this way.
There you go.
How's that?
All right.
I'm not laying down yet. Hell, I'm only a few beers in. I shouldn't be laying down already. Just kidding. I don't lay down. But anyway, so after that, and I'd already made my mind up, regardless how they wanted to vote, that I pretty much didn't want to be there anymore anyway. So once the mayor voted with them, I felt like I was released from my commitment. I didn't have no reason to commit to the mayor anymore. So I immediately sent him a message and said, thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate to be able to serve these last 6 months, but I'm going to offer to resign effective immediately. Good luck in the future and go Pacers. And that was my text to the mayor. He waited a few hours and he texted me back. He said, thank you for the updated information. And that was it. Now,
so he accepted your letter or your text of resignation.
He didn't deny it. Now,
okay.
I don't know. Maybe he's going to reappoint me. Who knows?
That would be a major troll on behalf of Ridenhour.
I don't think he's got the balls to do that. If he did, I would accept it just for the pure entertainment value. But
that would be amazing. That would be amazing.
I would do that. He wouldn't do that. But yeah, he'll probably find somebody who's just as dedicated as the other people.
Sure.
And that's what the board deserves. That's great. Have at it. Live your life. Like I said, my life's awesome either way. My little girl turns 3 tomorrow, and that's where my focus is. And I wish them all well.
Sure. Well, Ryan, I appreciate it. Appreciate your time on. Catherine, you have anything else for him?
No, I just am mad that you resigned.
Well, you know what? I thought, and in addition to that, it kind of just squeaks away a little bit of their excitement when they can't say they kicked me out now. So they may have started to kick me out, but it didn't happen. I resigned before they could.
He removed it before they could get in.
Yeah, and I don't know what world these people ever thought I would somehow self-filter my viewpoints. Listen, I didn't do it when I was on the council, an actual elected office. I'm sure not going to do it for some small local, nonprofit board. And I'm going to be true and authentic to who I am. That's who I am. People know that. They know what I say is the truth. At least from my perspective, it's the truth. And I'm not going to jeopardize that to conform to something that they think I should conform to just because they have a different political ideology. So
sure.
Not going to do it.
Well, Ryan, I appreciate it. Thank you for your time as always. We'll have you back on as we get closer into the election or anything else pops up. You're always free and welcome to come on anytime you like. I appreciate your time. If you do get a copy of the recording, or if anyone gets a copy of the recording, please send it my way. I'm definitely interested to hear that. And we'll have to wait and see what the mayor does here. I will tell you, I feel like the mayor is next. I don't think they'll be able to remove the mayor. I guess they probably could.
They could vote to remove anybody, but
they could do that. I imagine that would be.
They've got the votes. They have it stacked in their favor. They could remove all of his appointments.
They would be able to at that point. They would have to at that point. Then that would cause litigation, because I'm sure he would sue. The city would sue over that. So that would be interesting. But he's going to take a bunch of their shit now. So he's going to be their target at this point.
There's one thing I forgot to mention this, and this is central to this whole thing of how this kind of snowballed. Before all this happened, Nate Howard, I was in Chicago. He called me. We spoke for an hour. Him and Brad King they have this complete deep distrust of the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, they all truly believe that the mayor appointed me to sabotage and undermine their entire board. So you got to understand that in their mind, they think that I'm there to wreck their story and wreck what they're doing because of their distrust of the mayor. So that's why I was saying this was always going to happen. It doesn't necessarily matter what I said. Now, it don't help what I said, because, I give them plenty of shit to be upset about. But
sure,
they already were suspect of me and thought the mayor put me in there specifically as a FU to them. And you know what? You don't like me and I don't like you. So I'm going to put somebody in there that I know you hate. So that's how they viewed me from day one. And, who's to say if they're right or not? But that's the way they're viewing the world. That's the lens they see it through. So when you understand that, what happened isn't that big of a surprise.
Right.
They think that they're getting out someone who could wreck everything. And who knows, they may do that depending on who the mayor appoints next. They may feel the same way.
Sure.
If he appoints somebody safe, then they won't worry about it. But if it's anyone outspoken like me, then they'll do the same thing.
Yeah.
I just want everybody to know, in Delaware County, much like me, when you don't have Ryan Webb and me in elected positions or appointed positions, we just get a whole lot louder.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna be loud either way. When you're on the side of the truth, then you have a responsibility to be loud.
Then you sleep better at night.
You certainly can't sit there and be complicit and quiet, because if you are, you're part of the problem.
Part of the problem. Very good. Well, thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it. You go and have a good rest of your evening. Have a happy birthday to your daughter tomorrow, and we'll see you around.
Awesome. And just one last thing to piss you libs off. Just so you know, I got a Tesla now. So I know you guys hate that. I can't wait to roll by you in your protest.
Hey, Ryan. Hey, Ryan.
What?
I've had a Tesla since 2015.
Oh yeah, they're awesome. I know everybody hates Elon. I think it's great.
I'm glad you're finally catching up to me.
Yeah,
I know. I'm getting there. I mean, I don't know if I'm catching up to you. I'm on my way to maybe trying to understand it a little bit better. Hell, it took me 3 weeks to even figure this shit out. I'm still discovering stuff.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You guys have a good night. Y'all take care. Catherine, Dr. Catherine, it's good seeing you again.
It's good seeing you, Ryan.
All right. Y'all take care.
Good night.
Bye.
All right. That brings us up to bat with the doctor. And that was a little bit longer than the normal. I apologize.
You have to know when you put Ryan and I together, it's going to be a good time.
That was an interesting time. And I do. I'll find that out, Alva. I will find that. I saw that you asked him that. I will get that. I will have that answer for you. I will try to get that to you. I'm so sorry about that, but I will get that information for you. So Catherine's here. I do want to say just quickly, and I feel like I got to say this. I think that this is important. I don't know that. I know she's probably not still here, but Tweety Bird said a swastika is a symbol of Aryan fascism. That is one of the things that was hijacked by them, and it was, and the swastika has become an image of hate. And Tweety Bird, I agree with you 1000%. So does Ryan Webb. you and me and Ryan all agree about that the swastika is a symbol that people can notice is a sign of Aryan fascism. I'll go further than that. It has become a symbol of hate and a disgusting symbol. It's not a symbol that I like, or it's not a symbol that I have, or I fly, or I show off. It's not a symbol that Ryan flies or has or shows off. It's not a symbol that I worship or I like. And Ryan is very much in the same category there. I would say very much, and you won't agree to this and you won't like this, and you'll have a whole nother spin on why they did it. But very much like all of the very nice, good, kind people on your side of the aisle, like I know you would say, who made the swastikas on their signs when they go out to protest Pence and Trump and everybody else that they, Sparts and whoever they protest, when they put that swastika on there, they are using that symbol in the exact same way that Ryan used the symbol, just to show off what they feel about a specific side. Ryan did not create that meme of the pride flag. He just shared it like we all share memes all the time. So,
well, I would have never even known anything about it had he not shared it.
I've said 100 years. I've said forever.
Yeah.
I've said, yeah, Tweety Bird, does it make your blood boil when you see it on all of the left's flags, on all of the protest signs that all the people on the left? I can show you a lot of video from the Victoria Sparks protest where a bunch of people that you would probably consider friends had purposely and like while smiling had wrote it on a sign. And, you know, just to me, I don't think it's something to play around with. I can convey my thoughts without messing with a swastika. So my opinion is, if we're going to give Ryan a hard time for sharing the meme, we got to give all those people on the left a hard time for putting it on their signs too. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Otherwise,
yeah, you're
the
right.
process is broken.
You're right. It is absolutely 1000%. It's not cute or funny. So, yeah. And I tell you, absolutely. And I can only think that those left people that had it on up at the Victoria Sparks protest, they all must be white nationalists too, right along with him. I guess that's the only thing I can take from that.
Here's the only thing I can say, Tweety Bird, to you. If Ryan Webb was a white nationalist, I don't think he'd be on the show with me.
Well, yeah, right.
I mean, I don't think he would call me Dr. Callahan. I don't think he would talk to me. He's very respectful when we're on it for him together. So I don't, there's nothing in me that makes me feel Ryan is like, I mean, I don't even know
what a white nationalist, what is it?
What?
Why do you think it's okay? Why does who think anything's okay? Let me turn that around. Tweety Bird, why is it okay for your friends on the left to put that swastika on all of their protest signs? Why is that okay? I'll answer you as soon as you answer me. All right, Catherine, go ahead.
How are we supposed to educate people? I guess I don't understand, because I would have never picked up on this ever had you guys not brought that tonight. And I'm not offended that you brought this up.
Yeah, right. I mean,
I'm grateful that you talked about this, because I had no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I just I'm just shocked. I guess I'm just shocked that we live in a world where it's bad. We're talking about Ryan right now. Stop the what about? No. We're not talking about Ryan. We're talking about swastikas. If swastikas are not cute and funny and shouldn't be used or played around with, which I agree, then it's not cute or funny for Ryan to do it, and it's not cute and funny for the left to do it. Or we all have First Amendment right to do what you want to do, burn a flag, do what you want to do, use a swastika, whatever. I don't do it, and I live my life a different way. I know you do too, and I can respect that. I'm just saying, yeah, you know, so, you know, I guess that's the way I look at it. Anyone. Okay, so anyone. Yep, that's good. I don't think it's okay. You have not. I don't know if you've purposefully not heard me say the whole time, I don't like it. I wouldn't do it. I don't think it's okay. I don't think it's okay, period. So as soon as the left doesn't do it, I don't think that's good. I don't think it's good for anyone to do it. Ryan shouldn't do it. They shouldn't do it. Whatever. I'm fine to say that. I just want to know we won't see that anymore on the left, right? He's in our government. Well, he's not in our government. He's running for our government. But I think that Ryan used a meme the same way. Ryan didn't put the meme together. He just shared a meme. He didn't put that flag together. You know what I can do? I can take an American flag and I can fold it over and bend it over about 50 different ways, and I can't ever make a swastika out of it. I can't ever make a swastika out of an American flag, or even, I don't know that I can a Union Jack. No, I don't think I can a Union Jack either. So, all right.
I don't think you can out of a Japanese flag.
Hey, if you share it, you're behind it.
Well,
okay.
That's not true.
Oh, okay. No. I'm glad to hear that.
I don't agree with that, because sometimes we're sharing to educate
I don't agree.
others.
I don't agree with that either. I mean, that's complete ignorance. But yeah. I'm glad to say that. I'm glad. I'm okay with that. I would rather get there than go the other way, because that means every one of those leftist assholes that shared that up at the protest are white nationalists, just like Ryan Webb. I'm glad we're on the same page now. It's disgusting. And they should all, maybe we should put them all in jail. No, it's common sense, Tweety Bird. It's not what, so, okay, no, I lied. We should just put Ryan in jail. Those lefties can continue doing it. It's great. I love seeing swastikas on posters by the people protesting. It's fantastic. I love it.
I don't even know why you're entertaining any more conversation about this.
Yeah, go forward. Let's talk about Madison County.
Because okay. So first of all, there was an article put out this morning. I just sent it to you from the Herald Bulletin. It'll be out in tomorrow's paper. But I just sent it to you in Messenger. And so if we want to bring that up, there's been another Republican Party. What
is the deal with this
in Madison County? So if you go down to Nicole,
legal notice?
Nicole's post, she posted the entire article.
Is it? So it's not the legal notice.
No, it's the next one. It's on the Herald Bulletin page if you want to go just to the Herald Bulletin.
I'm trying to see and hope I can get it.
Well, I'll send you the article. I can read the article. I've got that.
Yeah, you'll have to do it because I can't pull it up.
Yeah, so if you just go to the Facebook page on the Herald Bulletin, and this is what it's going to be like, because I want to talk about the comments on it. Okay. This article is very interesting because I learned of this about maybe a day and a half ago. So it says it's time for everyday conservatives to move from the sidelines to the front lines, Bose said. Together we can keep our party honest, which she's talking about the Republican Party. Our elected officials humble and our county moving forward. Kelly Hewer, chairperson of the Madison County Republican Party, said Friday she was informed about the group several weeks ago and met with Bose, which I'm totally confused with this because I don't even know how Bose is in there. I don't think she's the chairperson. So this is very confusing, this whole entire article. She said the party's central committee is working on goals similar to those of the newly formed group. We have a new leadership team, Hewer said. We want to grow and talk with everyone. Now that's Kelly Hewer. We welcome all conversations. Hewer said the party organization is working to change the party administration, communicate, fundraise, promote unity, and be transparent. Now that's very important of what Kelly Hewer just said. Our intent.
So those words are from Kelly Hewer?
Those words are from Kelly Hewer. Our intent is to get as many, that's how it said. Hewer said the party organization is working to change the party administration, communicate, fundraise, promote unity, and be transparent. Our intent is to get as many people as possible involved, she said. We are pushing for more transparency and a better organization. Hewer said party leadership has met with precinct workers and elected officials. I'm not concerned, she said, of the CARE group. If they feel a need to start a group in the county, we welcome all comers. Now, this is what Kelly Hewer said, okay? Just weeks ago, everybody, can you bring that Facebook page up?
Oh, my God. Hold on, I just killed it.
And go to comments.
Yeah, give me a second.
Just weeks ago, there was a meeting with elected officials. Somewhere in Kelly Hewer, Rick Gardner's, Kara Wilkinson, and Nick Freeman, what they consider elected officials are not PCs. We had a large number of PCs that won an election here in Madison County. And so from there, they had a meeting with just elected officials. So they're considering like commissioners, county council, those people. Until some
keep talking for a second. I'll be right back.
Realized that they should be part of this elected body that they were having this meeting. So what happened was, in turn, suddenly Kelly's like, "Oh man, we've made an error here because everybody's upset." She decided to have a PC meeting. So when she had this PC meeting, she brought all these people. Well, I reached out to Rick Gardner, Nick Freeman, Kara Wilkinson, and Kelly Hewer because I wanted to see what the actual postcard said for the first meeting. And if you go to this thread and you look in comments, I actually post the exchange between Nick Freeman, Kelly Hewer, Kara Wilkinson, and Rick Gardner, who all just won here in February by the PCs to represent the GOP in Madison County. And what happened was, once Rick Gardner says, I don't know who this number is, which I don't know how he can't know my number. He's been on tons of threads. And I said, well, it's Katherine. He no longer would respond to me. He was Johnny on the spot first, like, who is this? And now nothing. So then Kelly Hewer, she didn't respond at all. She gave no feedback. Nick Freeman, he didn't respond at all. No feedback at all. And then you got Kara Wilkinson, who is the secretary, who responded, but was too afraid to, at first she's like, no, I don't have the card. No, I threw it away. And the more I pressed her and I said, no, you're the secretary. You should have all this information. Well,
did anybody ever present the card?
They never presented the card.
There's not anybody in the county that has a card or a copy that can get it to you.
We've asked all around because a lot of people just thought it was trash, so they just threw it away. But here's the reason why you hold on to things. Mm-hmm. So, you go through this and you just realize that these people are just liars.
So what am I showing here?
So right here, I showed pretty much that this is your group that's in the current GOP. These are the email exchanges I just had a couple of weeks ago asking for the card. No one would give me the card.
Who's this? Who is this? Rick?
That's
I'm
Rick
sorry,
Gardner.
I must not have this number built in. Who is this? There was an elected official meeting last week.
And I said, this is Katherine. He wouldn't respond to me anymore.
What do we need to ask these people?
So no one will produce the original card from the first elected meeting.
From what day? I'll text. I got Rick's number. I'll text him right now.
Oh, well, I'll have to go back and see what it was. I mean, I'll get it to you and you can text him what the actual date of it was, because I'd have to go look at the dates on these. So that's the whole thing, people, is that if you think for 1 minute You can't trust Kelly Hewer as far as you can throw her. I just tell you right now. And believe me, if you looked at her, you're not throwing her very far. So I'm not being hateful. I'm not being mean. But you know what? When you get on here and you lie to the people in the Herald Bulletin helps you lie. When I even posted this. I posted this several weeks ago. No, I'm not going to stand here and watch you lie to the people. Kelly Hewer and her team are a bunch of liars. So I just want everybody to know that if you're, paying attention to the politics in here. And then I'm going to show you truly how elected and appointed officials act. We have Lisa Summers has been up in Monroe Township. She's been knocking on doors for this regional utility district. She has been doing FaceTime lives of all the overflow, all the drainage issues up there. She's done a phenomenal job. She's been wonderful. She wanted to be here tonight, but she is actually working tonight.
Yeah.
And so when we were at the Monroe Township meeting that was supposed to be held for the people, so I want to bring up that picture of the political.
Give me just 1 second here. I'm by any chance, do you have a postcard? Hold on. By any chance, do you have a postcard that would have gone out a couple of weeks ago for a meeting that's already passed for all elected officials with Kelly Hewer? Okay, so go ahead now. What are we going to show? What are we putting up now?
So now show the public notice for this meeting. So what happened is for weeks.
That's the legal notice?
Yep. For weeks, they've been posting about this meeting. They were going to have it at the Emory building. Okay. The more
I don't understand why they're posting I don't understand why they're posting a legal notice for a party meeting.
No, we're moving on to a new subject.
Okay. Oh. Okay, I get you.
We're moving on to Monroe Township because that's about all the energy I want to give those morons, and I am going to call them morons because I have no other words. Liars, two-faced.
It's liars. They're liars. I can't comprehend that.
Right.
I'll let you know if I hear anything back from Rick.
Yeah, right there's the proof in the pudding. So anybody wants to believe that, you can believe that. But Kira's a liar. They're all liars. So moving forward. So as we move forward, now I want to show Monroe Township in the public meeting that they had.
Up here. Okay, share instead. Yeah, we go.
So this is the public meeting. This is the legal notice that they've been publishing in the Elwood Times and then down here in the Herald Bulletin. And this talks about the regional utility district that they're going to come up with. And what happened, for those of you that haven't been around Madison County, there was a drain out in Monroe Township over by the CVS. That drain was supposed to be maintained by the commissioners. For decades, the commissioners have not maintained this drain. So that drain is not on maintenance. So there's 170 drains in Madison County that are not on maintenance. For whatever reason, it got removed, but there's 200 and some that are on maintenance. So I suspect that the reason why they're not on maintenance is because at that time, those elected officials wanted all of the property tax money to come to them instead of splitting some of that out and putting it aside to take care of the drains. This drain has collapsed. The Wyckoff family had been messing with the health department for years. They were treated rudely. They were yelled at. They were told this was their property. They were told it was their problem. Now, anybody who wants to question the Wyckoffs about this and say, really, did the health department treat you that bad? Because Stephanie's a good person. Joe Davis is a good person. These people wouldn't treat you bad. Well, in a minute, we're going to show you a video about how Stephanie treats, and you will soon realize the health department probably did treat this family that bad. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. The way that Stephanie Mellinger spoke to me, knowing my level of education, my knowledge, and my experience, I can't imagine how she would speak to the layperson. It's disgusting. So they put this public notice up. At the last minute, they changed buildings, like within 48 hours of the meeting. Does anybody think they put a sign up over at the Emory Lee building saying it's been moved? Absolutely not. Are there people over there trying to get in? Absolutely. That is how disrespectful this legal notice. To me, I feel that this legal notice needs to be challenged, that they did not properly notify the people. So
I definitely think it's not look, there's been meetings where they've done that and they've moved something at the last minute because they know that a lot of people is going to come. And what they do is they go and they put up a notice. And if they don't do that, I do think that, I mean, it's a lot of work for someone to go through, but I think they should go through it because I think that it is an illegal meeting.
Yeah. So they never put it up. So can you blow this up and just see what this meeting kind of says?
Don't think I can because that's how it is. Hold on, give me a second. Give me a second. Let me see what I can do here. Oh yeah, I can now. I can do it now. Kinda. Okay. I mean, I can put it in overlays and see if that does it.
No, that's fine. So up in the red part, right, everybody, this just tells you that Madison County's intent to file a petition with the Indiana Department of Environmental Management, with IDEM, to establish a regional utility district, okay? Because the commissioners have been so incompetent, they have been so reckless managing money, as Rick Gardner was the auditor for the past 8 years. They have to develop this regional utility because they don't have, what they say, the means to fix this drain, several drains up in Monroe Township, which has been neglected. So they're holding this public formality, and it's supposed to be a legal notice for a public meeting. Now, you would think a public meeting would be that you could come and you'd get an informational piece and that you'd be able to ask some questions and answers. Well, shame on any of you for thinking that would take place.
Let me take a look at this one. So it says proposed Madison County Regional Utility District. Notice to property owners of an informational meeting regarding Madison County's intent to file a petition with the Indiana Department of Environmental Management to establish regional utility districts. So if I was going to this, I would think that I would be walking into the government center or, some area, maybe the school gymnasium or whatever, and that they would have like chairs lined out and that they would have some desks or tables, like 8-foot tables up front. And they would have maybe people from the wastewater district or the regional planning district or the commissioners there, and that they would be sitting there and that they would be going down a line and talking about this project and maybe answering question and answer or something like that. That's what I would assume this meeting would be. So is that what it was? So
what happens is people come out in this meeting. We have a huge hailstorm. It's a terrible storm that happens about 5:30. So that probably should have told you how corrupt this meeting was going to be. Like Mother Nature is telling you the devils are inside that exhibit hall waiting for the community to arrive. I'm telling you. So we begin to go into this. I'm out in my car because I was waiting out the storm. Suddenly, Lisa comes out to the car and I'm with Laureen. Now, Laureen White is an attorney, okay? And she lives in Madison County, and she does a lot of work on holding officials accountable because she truly believes in the people. So they come out, and Laureen and I were talking, and they said, you got to come in here. There's no chairs. There's nothing. There's no presentation. You just got to come in here. And we're like, what? So, and she goes, but don't worry. They have police presence. Okay. Now, what amazes me, Lisa.
All right. The lady's going to come on the program coming up.
Yeah. So you can't afford bulletproof vests for these officers, but you want them to come and protect you as elected officials. Okay. Crazy priorities to me. So we go in, and right when you walk in, the health department is standing at a table asking for people to sign in. Well, we can all tell you how that went for me, because I wasn't signing in to anything. So you go into the exhibit, and so if you've been to Madison County 4-H, it was in the exhibit hall. You go in there, and Stephanie Mellinger is standing there with police right in the opening of the doorway.
Who was?
Stephanie Mellinger, the health administrator.
Health department lady.
So I look into this room. There's no chairs. So I set up my camera, and I'm like getting ready to do. So several people come over, and they're asking me questions, but they don't know who all the elected officials are. So I say to them, oh, yeah, there's Olivia Pratt, there's Rick Gardner, there's blah, blah, blah. So Mr. Kildall's like, I want to talk to Commissioner Rick Gardner, because Rich Wine, who actually is the commissioner for this district, could not be available for his people. Now, this is a big deal. Right? Not at no point did anybody get an answer of how much these drains are going to cost. Now, I estimated on another video that it was going to be from 10 to 20 million. In the paper, it came out that it's going to be $22.5 million to fix this. So, and here's the kicker. This first came about in 2022. The county and the citizens have only just learned about this since January of this year. IDEM has fined the county. IDEM has given them warnings, but we're just now learning about it. Somebody came up to me at Monroe Township and says, why are you even here? Why are you involved in this? Because you don't live up here, because they know I own a practice in LaPel. And I said, I'm not up here because I want to be up here. I was called on behalf of the people to come up there. I know I have a lot of residents up there that are my patients who asked me to come cover this. I said, sure. So after I'm sitting up and I'm kind of talking, I show Mr. Kildall, there's Rick Gardner, go ask that commissioner, because my understanding, this meeting was called for by the commissioners for the community. So he goes, okay, because he was there to actually address like the board or whoever is going to be up there. So do you have the video of Rick? So I told Lisa to
which one are we doing? Yeah, are we doing the Rick one now, or are we going to do the Rick one? A little bit of yours,
because Rick is what started it. So Lisa goes, and I said, go record it. So she goes and follows Mr. Kildall, and she's recording Rick Gardner. Look at the way he treats you in a public meeting. This is unbelievable.
Okay, now, okay, I want everyone to see this. We're going to watch this. This is only 51 seconds, but we're going to watch it. Then we're going to watch it again, and then we're going to watch it with subtitles. So,
and Jack Off, you better have some good comments on this. And Stumblefoot, you too.
Oh, yes. Yes. Well, Stumblefoot will. Here we go. Here we go.
I can't imagine how this guy treats his wife. I just want everybody to know.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
It's wild, man. This dude is real wild. Okay. So, right here. This is Rick Gardner.
That's commissioner, and he's over District 2. Now remember,
commissioner.
He was the auditor for the past 8 years.
Yeah, he's a former auditor. He's now a commissioner,
and he's a former county councilman.
Yeah, and this man is who?
So this is Mr. Kildall, who has. I mean, he's a lifelong resident of Monroe Township. He loves his community.
What's his name?
Kildall.
Kildall.
Okay. And he had some questions because this is going to affect him.
Yeah, I like this guy. This guy. So, all right, here we go. Listen to the sound here. Here we go.
I thought we came here to get information. And you need to start from someplace. You guys are not even willing to give us the information. I don't have the information. That's why I'm here.
You don't have the information.
Who is the person that has information? Who's the lead dog in this parade?
He's the president of the commissioners. Am I right? And what do you do? And what is your name? Rick.
I want to pause this. Is he the current president of the commissioners?
It's always John Richwine, the king.
I knew Richwine was, so I was shocked that she said that. So
well, she didn't know. This is the thing. People are learning our government.
Yeah.
It's been so hidden.
And in normal governments, they trade off every year, but it's always Richwine.
It's always been Richwine.
Now, that means he leads.
Now, here's the sad part. Rick Gardner says in the beginning, I'm here to get information too. He's the flipping commissioner.
Yeah.
IDEM has cited the commissioners.
Yeah. And there's no difference in the commissioners. All three of them have the same power. Yes. Just the president leads the meeting. So that's that. But any of the three of these people any three of the commissioners should have information on this. So here, all right, I'm going to back it up. Here we go.
And what do you do? And what is your name? Rick Gardner. But
I'm not doing interviews.
Well, no, you're not doing an interview. I'm just recording because this is a public information. This is public. This is a public forum, sir.
Sir, I'm not able to do it against.
Oh, so you don't want to?
What did he say to him?
Back it up again.
Because it doesn't pick it up on the. All right, so hold on. We'll finish this out
to the people because you're being recorded.
So this is a really wild thing. So we're gonna pick this up, and I'm gonna put this like this. Let me show you what happens here. Okay, we're gonna pull this over here because this gives us a transcript, and so I'm gonna play it, but I'm gonna read you what's being said here.
I thought we came here to get information.
So the gentleman
Kildare
says, "I thought we came here to get information."
And you need to start from someplace.
And he said you need to start with some place or something. You guys are not even willing to give us this information. You guys are not even willing to give us the information. Then Rick says, I don't have the information. What do you mean you don't have the information? That's either a lie and you do have the information, or you don't have the information, and this is far more screwed up than we could ever have imagined. All right? So number one, you're lying, or this is more screwed up than we can know, okay? So he says, I don't have the information.
You don't have the
So she says, you don't have, Lisa starts saying, you don't have and Mr. Kildare looks at whatever his name is, looks at him and says, who's the person that has the information? Who's the lead dog in this parade?
Who's the lead dog in this parade?
He's the president of the.
And that's when Lisa misspeaks, just says he's the president of the commissioners. So that don't matter. But he is a commissioner. All three of them should know the exact same information.
The commissioners. Am I right?
Right.
And what do you do?
What do you do?
And what is your name?
What's your name?
Rick Gardner.
And he said, He says, I'm one of the commissioners. And she says, and what do you do? What's your name? Rick Gardner. And then this is the thing that kills me.
I'm not doing an interview.
Well, no,
I'm not doing an interview. You're here specifically for this. Now, I want to show you real quick a picture. I want to show you guys a picture. This is what this room looks like. It's not it's similar to what I imagined, except there's no chairs. There's these desks around, and people are just wandering around. Can you tell us what's going on here?
So you walk into this room. It's a big exhibit hall, and they've got kind of it's kind of a U-shaped thing right at the beginning here, where the lady in the black. You can pick up a few informational pieces, and then they have the health department there. They've got Commonwealth, all these different engineers, and as you go around, they'll ask you, "Oh, do you have a drain? Oh, where would it be on this map?" Half the people who were there, who are going to be affected by this, their drains were not even on the map. It was crazy. They don't even have an accurate amount of drains. at the front of the room by that stage up there in front, they brought in bottled water. This just reminded me of the Aaron Brockovich show. So instead of bringing in tap water or putting it in thing, they brought in bottled water and some cookies. Now that's great, but I think this might be an ADA violation because you should have chairs for people to be able to sit. So what you do is you just walk around like you're at a, like, you know what this reminded me of? A college fair.
Yes.
Right?
A science fair or some shit.
Yeah. You pick up a couple pamphlets here. You pick up a couple pamphlets there. You know, you can ask a few questions, but the majority of these people that were staffing these areas really had no idea what was going on either. They couldn't tell you how much this was going to cost. They couldn't tell you when this was going to get started. They just couldn't tell you a lot of information. So this is not what I would call a public meeting. A public meeting, you should be able to gather answers from your elected officials. I mean, after all, we're paying them a salary to do a job. Clearly, none of these people are doing a job. This is ghost employment because part of their job is where it might say, hey, they only have to show up one day a year. But the other part of that is they have to make sure that their department is actually working and meeting the people's needs. The commissioners were an epic fail here. So this is Jessica Baston standing here in these jeans with that sweater. I think she only has one wardrobe because she wears that stupid thing all the time. So, I mean, to every meeting. I mean,
with the health department. I just want you to take a good look at what's going on here.
There's
no chair.
The black thing?
So no, Jessica is right over here to the right. See the guy in the orange shirt?
Yeah.
That's the county.
Oh, yes. Yeah, right here.
Jessica Baston.
Yeah.
Okay. Right here in the red by the officer, that is Commissioner Olivia Pratt.
Olivia Pratt. Why didn't they chase her down?
Now, Rick is talking to Mr. Kildall right behind her, but at no point turns to Olivia and says, can you answer this gentleman's? Because this is our show. Can you tell him what's going on?
Yeah, well, he didn't point. Oh, because this is your video,
right.
and Lisa is over there with
Kildall
and Rick, and so that's what's going on over there.
And so
I'm so disgusted by these people.
And so Olivia Pratt and Mellinger, instead of greeting the people, they're more interested in standing here acting like they're busy.
Yeah, that's what
I mean. This is just ridiculous. Now the officer whose backs to us. That is Kim Steigel. She ran for sheriff. Yeah. This does affect her area. She lives up in that area.
Yeah.
So as you see these people coming in, it was just unbelievable that Commonwealth is there. They can't answer this. We pay them hundreds of millions of dollars in all kinds of projects in the county, and everybody's clueless.
For any of this. There is Stephanie Mellinger. She has no chairs set up for the people, so there's no consideration if somebody has a disability or anything. She stands here with Olivia Pratt, who is supposed to be giving somewhat information to the people, and she's not doing it.
Oh, and here, right here, we're watching that video. And let me go back and finish that off real quick before we jump into this. So this is finishing that off. He says, I'm not doing an interview, and Lisa's, so we'll back this up here.
Rick Gardner, but
I'm not doing an interview.
You're not doing.
It makes me so mad.
Here's the thing. They're there for question and answers.
That's what they're there for, yeah.
That's what you're there for, Rick.
Yeah.
An interview. I'm just recording because this.
She says, no, you're not doing an interview. I'm just recording because this is public information. This is a public forum, sir.
Public information. This is public. This is a public forum, sir.
So he said, I'm not going to be here if it gets hostile.
Yeah.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, that's what it says. I'm not going to meet with you if it's going to be hostile. People have the right to be.
This is a public forum, sir. Oh, so you don't want to talk to the people because you're being recorded.
I mean, listen, people. Rick Gardner, John Richwine, and Olivia Pratt do not have to answer to the people in commissioner meetings. I do not understand why they always get a free pass not to answer to the people, no matter where we're at. Now we're at a public meeting where we are supposed to be able to ask questions. And here we are again. They're unwilling to answer them. They don't want to be on record. They don't want to be recorded. Well, you know what? This is ridiculous. This is completely out of control.
Yeah, it is. It is absolutely ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. Real quick in the comments here, Kate and Kid Rock are having a conversation about the lawsuit in Union for Union schools. There was a victory today, and I've got information that I don't think anyone else has. So the point of today's hearing was simply for an injunction, because they're fighting the Senate Bill 1, the one amendment put in Senate Bill 1 that's shutting down that school without going through due process, and they're fighting that. And that's a fight that's going to take a while. It might take a year or two, and the school's not set to shut down because of Senate Bill 1 until 2027. However, there is a section in there that said that because of this section, because of the writing in this ignorant Senate Bill 1, it said that the school was not able to engage in business or make deals or whatever, use money after the end of the school year in 2025. So that meant a couple of weeks ago when school ended, the school was basically over. Starting next August, in a couple months, they're not allowed to buy food. They're not allowed to buy books. They're not allowed to pay teachers. And so that's the big issue. So today's hearing was an injunction that would basically say, even though that says that and that was voted on, they're going to be allowed to still function as a school. They went in, and the lawyers on behalf of the school said, we think that this is totally erroneous. This is nonsense, and we need the injunction. The lawyers that represent the state said, oh, well, that's not what that even means. You guys are making a mountain out of a whole molehill. That's not what that means. We never meant that. And they're like, well, that's what it says. The judge said, this thing doesn't make any sense. It's hard to read and it's hard to understand. So he gave the lawyers for the school the injunction, and they will be putting the order in that allows the school to operate while they fight this ignorant bill. And this was a big win, and I think that the school will come out victorious in this. So that is big news. I was going to say something in the beginning, but we weren't going to have Ryan on. It just happened because of what happened. That kind of screwed things up. But I was going to say that at the very beginning. But that was big news that they did get a victory today. And so I can't wait to see more. But the judge basically told the state, your Senate Bill 1 is difficult to understand. And so I think that's funny. So no, the state doesn't win. That's against the state and for the school that was fighting. So that's a victory for the good guys as of today. All right. Going back to this. Sorry, I just saw that was in the comments, but
that's fine.
So this is a wild thing. First of all, I think that walking into this and seeing this set up,
it's already frustrated the people. Just walking in irritated people because they really thought they were coming to a presentation, a forum. They'd be able to ask questions, and this is what they got.
When is the next commissioners meeting?
It's
not until July.
It's the first and third Tuesday of every month.
So it'll be July 1st. Unless they do something weird for the 4th of July, which who knows if they do or not, but I could see that.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is the thing. This continues if the people allow it. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous of what has taken place here.
Well, Clinton, it will nullify the bill if they go further and they win. This injunction won't nullify the bill, but it's a step in the right direction. Okay, go ahead.
So what did you say you felt about Rick Gardner? Either he didn't know the information.
No, listen, there's one or two things. He says it here. He says it. So if we're going to go off what Rick Gardner says, let's go back and listen here. Let's listen to what Rick Gardner says here. Okay. Ricky Gardner. And I think that's his real given name, right? Ricky
is his real name.
Ricky isn't his.
Ricky.
Ricky. Tricky Ricky. Okay. Ricky says, so Kilda says something like that. So she's Japanese. I'm English speaking. Says, I thought that we came here to get information and you need to start with something. You guys are not even willing to give us the information. And that's where Rick says, I don't have the information. Let's listen.
I thought we came here to get information. And you need to start from someplace. You guys are not even willing to give us the information. I don't have the information. That's why I'm here.
He says, I don't have the information. That's why I'm here. He says, I don't have the information. That's why I'm here. I don't have the information. That's why I'm here. I don't have the information. That's why I'm here. 1/3 of the executive body. So just back this up real quick and understand that the commissioners of the county are like the mayor of the county. So you've got a mayor in the city of Muncie. You've got a mayor in the city of Indianapolis. You've got a mayor in the city of Anderson. And that's the boss of the government. You know, I mean, the people are, but you got what I'm getting at. Okay. The commissioners are the boss. The commissioners are the one that's running the show. They're the bosses. It's like Cerberus. They're like the 3-headed dog dragon, whatever. All right. They're supposed to all kind of have the same understanding of each other. And you've got 1/3 of these idiots saying, I don't have the information. That's why I'm here. And so to answer your question, Catherine, there's only 2 ways I can take this because he said it. No one else said that. That was Rick's words. I don't have the information. That's why I'm here. So he either truly doesn't have the information, and if that's true, holy fuck, that's crazy.
Here's the thing.
Or he's lying.
You cannot make people care.
Yeah, right.
And that is truly what this meeting showed, not just by the commissioner.
Oh, yeah.
Wait till you see the health administrator.
Yeah.
These people just don't care. When private citizens can answer the questions better than the elected and appointed officials, then you know this is nothing more but a dog and pony show and a paycheck.
How long has this been going on?
This started in 2022.
Okay, so there's your answer. Kate. He is a new commissioner. This is his first. He's only been commissioner for 6 months.
But he's known that the money is needed for this.
No, I know that. I'm not giving him an out. I'm just saying he's only been involved here for 6 months. So before,
but who doesn't show up at the public meetings when Bethany Keller brought a public meeting?
Yeah. Right.
You didn't see him. You know, and here's what I want to ask you. Thinking outside the box. Okay. What I want to ask you, Chris, is this. You have a 3-body member of the commissioners. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We are in
I'd try to kill it with fire. Go ahead.
We are in a public meeting.
Mm-hmm.
2 of them are there. Is this a quorum?
Certainly. That's why. Yeah.
Because they spent a great amount of time together throughout that meeting, Olivia and Rick.
Yeah.
Do you see where I'm going with this?
Certainly.
So now 3/4 of the people are there, and these people are as clueless.
How many council members were here?
I only saw Grabowski and Keller, and this is Keller's district. So she is District 4, and Grabowski is at large. I don't recall seeing the surveyor did show up, but he wasn't invited to be at a table. I'm sending you this. Put this.
Did Grabowski and Keller have a table?
No. Nope. They were there to gather information because the commissioners will not give information, will not let the people speak. Now look at this.
I think I'm convinced that Rick knows the information and Diane Likens, or the other Likens, Darlene. I'm convinced those are the two commissioners, and she's gone. I'm convinced they know what's going on, and everybody else don't know.
Yeah. So bring this what I just sent you. Pull that up.
Two pieces of paper.
Yep. Now what's this one? So they were notified in September of 22. And then this one is where they start items like enough. Okay. So this has been going on for a while. All this was generated by the Wyckoff family, because they couldn't get anywhere with the health department and the environmental engineer or Jessica Baston or the commissioners. So they finally filed with IDEM, and there's another letter, but this is the one I want to show you. This is October 27th of 2023. This was sent via email to Olivia Pratt, Madison County Board of Commissioners. So Ms. Pratt has this information. This says this is the inspection summary and the non-compliance letter, meaning that there's other things that have been happening leading up to this letter. Okay.
Absolutely.
So this has been going on for some time. Okay. So when they went through this, they told them, they came out, they reevaluated, they did another inspection, and this is the location, which is Monroe Township. It says the inspection was conducted to follow up on a complaint investigation that was conducted on September 1st of 2022. That's what's in this first circle down here in the middle.
Yeah.
That complaint investigation revealed black colored water with a septic odor flowing from the concrete storm sewer pipe at the above address. Let's see. And discharging into the tributary to Pipe Creek. Okay, so it's going into the creek. Now, this tributary is directly behind the CVS in Alexandria. This was found, let me see here. The concrete storm sewer was traced to a system of concrete piping that extended east across Pugh Street and south across County Road 1100 North. One manhole was located at 11041 North Pugh Street, which is likely the origin of the contaminant water in the storm drain was from the septic system's homes serviced by the storm drain. It was later established that the Madison County Board of Commissioners has jurisdiction over and responsibility for septic tank systems and county ditches and drains in the unincorporated areas of Madison County, Indiana. An agreed order was approved on September 22nd of 2023 between IDEM and the Madison County to address those matters. Now, a year has already passed from September of 22 now to September of 23.
Yeah.
So for anybody to say that nobody had any clue to what's going on here, yeah, I'm not buying that. Because turn the page, Kristopher. On this page, which makes it, oops. I mean, I've got the whole thing, but on this page, it says the receiving water's evaluation of this inspection was rated unsatisfactory. On the day of the inspection, the tributary of the Pipe Creek was found to be flowing with cloudy water with a strong septic odor. The bottom of the entire stream was covered with black sediments. This is a violation of 327 Indiana Code 2-1-6A1, which requires all waters to meet the minimum conditions of being free from substances, materials, floating debris, oil, or scum attributing to municipal, industrial, agriculture, and other land use practices, or other discharges. 1, that will settle to form putrescent or otherwise objectionable deposits, or 2, that are in amounts sufficient to be unsightly or deleterious. 3, that produce color, visible oil sheen, odor, and other conditions in such degree as to create nuances. The purpose of this follow-up inspection was to illustrate the continuing harm to the environment and threat to human health. Now, I don't know anybody who believes we don't need anything stronger than this. It's a threat to human health. So since 2022, the health department, the commissioners have put lives in jeopardy, and no one is doing anything about this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? This is a big deal, people. This is a big problem.
Yes.
And for anybody to say to me, why do you care, Catherine? Why are you up here? Are you kidding me? I mean, I went to healthcare to actually serve patients. Everybody
I
should
think
be outraged by this.
that.
I don't care where you live.
Yeah.
So, and to underscore the importance of including some immediate interim measures to reduce the harm while more permanent measures are being studied and developed. So they're supposed to do something. This drain is still broken. They've tried to fix it twice. They've poured concrete, and it's still been an epic disaster. These guys cannot even do a temporary fix. That is the level of incompetence running this shit show, literally.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is no other way to put it, you guys. Literally, that is what's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, they all need to resign because none of them can get this done. I bet you there's people that's on this forum right now who could probably walk right out there and fix this. So the information is being forwarded to the OWQ enforcement section for consideration in conjunction with your agreed order. And they put the case number. Please direct any responses to this letter and questions to Andy Schmidt by email. Okay. So the people are aware. I mean, this is water enforcement. They're aware this is going on. Now, if you want to see, if the people want to see this stuff here, this is right here, Chris, I just sent you in Messenger. This is the wastewater facility inspection. And it says the violations were discovered and require a submittal from you and or follow-up inspection by IDEM. I mean, it's telling them, like, you have to do this. It's saying this is from 2022. I mean, at no time is there any misunderstanding that this is the Madison County Board of Commissioners responsible. That very last paragraph in there, it says it in that line. It was established that the Madison County Board of Commissioners has jurisdiction and responsibility for septic tank systems and county ditches and drains in the unincorporated areas of Madison County, Indiana. So it's clear. There's no misunderstanding at who is responsible. Now, here's the sad part. This county has beat up the Wyckoffs and beat them up, saying this has always been their responsibility. And you're going to hear it straight from Mellinger. So I believe the Wyckoffs, because Mellinger has made this a complete and epic disaster. So wherever you're going to get your doctorates, which I believe is IU, somebody really needs to rethink of ever passing her and giving her a doctorate in 2026, because this is a disgrace. If this is the level of work you do and you are going to hold a doctorate, you are an insult to whatever degree you are getting. I'm going to tell you that right now, because I'm going to tell you something. After you guys listen to the exchange between her and I think every one of you will say, Catherine certainly has earned the degrees that she has studied for. I will tell you that. So here's the next page on that.
You shared it to me?
Yeah, I just sent it to you. So again, there is no question what happened here. They are again telling them we've got odor, we've got problems, we got all these issues. IDEM even goes and takes it a step further. They give you colored pictures of this area and the violations. They spell it out. I mean, come on, Stephanie, you're getting a doctorate. They're giving you pictures. This is embarrassing that you have to have pictures and you still can't get it. Commissioners, you can't do a picture book? I don't know what more. And here's the problem. These people have not gone out to the area and actually looked at the area, because if they did, and if they weren't morally and ethically bankrupt, they would be appalled at this. Why would we expect to live like this if the commissioners don't live like this?
Yeah,
why is this ever acceptable to any of you? When you go to meetings, when you go to council meetings, and they tell you when you can speak and when you can't speak? No, that's not how this works. Because if this were happening to them, they would be speaking. And they'd be speaking as loud as they wanted until they're heard and got it fixed. Free speech half the time is no speech all the time. I mean, it's just the reality of it, people. And I cannot wrap my head around. I'm so sick of Robert's rules. I'm so sick of the people that says, okay, well, we're just going to take this. And you know what? Here, you guys, I buy KY by the case. Would you like some? Because that's exactly what's happening here. I am not going to allow this. I don't care, what part of the county I'm in. So listen to this exchange between Mellinger, and please, I hope you guys will give all the feedback here of this exchange.
Anything. We do see that Rick Gardner is here as well. So if people have questions, they're just supposed to go to these stations, and then you're going to ask these people, or you're going to look at the presentation they have on their boards, is what you're going to do. So clearly, I have no idea why the health department wouldn't have chairs out for people. People get sick. People need to sit down. We don't see any of that going on, so there's no consideration for that. The commissioners clearly don't feel that they have to talk to the people of the public and kind of address all of them. Your county engineer, Jessica Baston's here. So the key is you don't get to speak in meetings, and then you come to these meetings and you really don't get to say anything.
It's a circle jerk. It's nothing's going on here. This is so
right there.
Stupid.
You just get to walk around and talk to people.
Rick Gardner would not talk to the gentleman.
So Rick Gardner wouldn't talk to Mr. Kildown.
This lady is going to come on and talk to us. She's supposed to come on tonight. I told you all she'd come on tonight. Catherine told me that. Then as soon as I got off, she's like, oh, no, she can't do it tonight. She can do it Sunday.
She is working.
And then she's like, oh, no, she can't do it Sunday. She's going to do it Monday. So one of these days, she's going to come on and talk to us. But I will give her a bunch of credit because a month ago, she knew nothing about any of this. And she started watching what was going on, started paying attention. She's like, oh, I don't like what's happening to me.
And let me tell you something. She is not in the unincorporated part of Monroe Township. Understand that she lives inside Alexandria. But I will tell you, she has a passion to help the people. She has picked this ball up. She has been out walking the neighborhoods in the unincorporated area. She's been pounding on doors to get people to sign the petition. She stood here for a couple hours. I don't know how many signatures she got to sign this petition. She truly, has been firing up the people. She's been putting out information. She has been running 3 or 4 times a day all over Monroe Township, giving people videos of all the water issues that are going on. And she's been doing it now for about 2 or 3 weeks. Now, I want to tell everybody, about 6 weeks ago, I met Lisa. I mean, I'd met her once or twice in a meeting, maybe said hello to her, but I met her at an Alexandria meeting, and she'd never done FaceTime before. You should go check out her page in the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, she's been hot and heavy.
Fire.
Yeah, I love it. And before we go on here really quickly, I want to say, Krista, we just talked about it just a few moments ago before you just jumped on. I told everybody what happened. I called you today, and I told you to call me. You didn't want to call me, so I said, to hell with you. I just called your attorney instead. No, it's no big deal. I'm happy that you guys won. We will have you back on. Please, please, please. I will not take up much of your time, but please, please, please call me tomorrow if you can. Just at your convenience. You can call me anytime that you have like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. That's all. I won't take up much of your Saturday. But yeah, since you can come on, we'll have you back on here in the next couple days and get you on. But I won't be doing a show tomorrow, but we'll be back Sunday. But I do want to talk to you tomorrow. So call me tomorrow if you can. And congratulations on the injunction today. And we talked about how important that is. So, all right, here we go.
Oh, I see. So he's not doing interviews. Well, last time I looked. Oh, the commissioners are absolutely over this. So who's over this? The health department or the commissioners? No one seems.
And she said the health department, I know what you did. You said it loud enough so Stephanie could hear you. I like it.
To know. So nobody wants to be.
Who's in charge of this? The commissioners or the health department? And then Stephanie comes slogging over.
Reported. Yeah. So who is over this project?
Well, there are several commissioners also.
Well, Rick Gardner just told her he's not over it. So we're confused.
It's a collaboration.
Okay, but who's the point person?
Look at the order.
Mhm.
It is IDEM the county.
Okay, so the county would be the commissioners. There's no way around that. So Rick Gardner telling you that is a lie because the commissioners are responsible for this, right? Okay, so the fact that he even said that just kind of shows you.
Unless we didn't hear, because I didn't hear that on camera. I didn't hear him say that he wasn't over it. Unless they said something, because we only had 51 seconds.
He's here to learn about this.
Yeah. Right.
This is not his meeting.
Yeah. That's, I mean, that is insane.
He says it's not his meeting. Well, whose meeting is it?
Yeah.
I wasn't doing any interviews, which I wasn't interviewing. I was just recording.
Well, I thought the whole purpose of having this. Oh, I'll have more for you. If you like one, I mean, I would think people have dialogue here. This is the health department administrator. Yeah, here, ask away.
So have you taken any samples of the water that was there at Pine Creek and the White House house?
White House.
Oh, why not? Okay, so but I want to know, have you taken any steps to see what the levels of E. coli and of the other bacteria that's in there? And why not? Okay, but what?
Oh, Rick just came back in.
What the levels of them are? Why not? Okay, but don't you think that? I know, but don't you think that you
So
should at least know
what
the
she said
levels
was,
of it?
we know it's sewage. So why would we take that? Now, this is your health administrator. We know it is. So why would we prove it? You know why? I'm going to tell you people why they won't prove it. I'm going to tell you why they won't take samples, because I'm going to call the bull crap right here. You know why? Because if they take the samples and if they test it and show the levels, they would actually have to even move quicker.
Yeah.
That's why. So please don't be fooled by this dog and pony show. Okay.
Yeah, look at this lady's head.
You know, here's the thing. I ran lecture halls for a long time. Don't ever get up in front of me and try to give me a half-ass report.
Right, because those people can't even live in their home. No, they can't.
Their E. coli level is greater than 200. Yes, and it's greater than 200. And I've posted on there. We use the State Department of Health
So
lab,
she
a
has the
certified
nerve
lab.
to say to me, so what lab did you use? Do you think I'm going to use some dime show down the road? Like I'm not going to use a reputable lab? I mean, I don't know where you're from, Stephanie Mellinger, but I'm board certified. I know better.
You're certifiable, all right.
So I don't understand and here's the thing. She's got an issue with my attitude. I'm the one coming with all the answers. She should be praising me.
Did she say that about your attitude?
As a matter of fact, she should have got a pin out and started taking notes. Because she definitely needs to be
And we paid
schooled.
for that.
And so you did answer her.
So, I mean, that's all been paid for. It's been on.
And you said that you did it at the state lab, right?
state lab, and we paid
social media that it's greater
And how much did it cost?
$50.
Okay.
than 200, and that is a toxic level. Anybody in healthcare would know that house, nobody should be living in that house at a greater than 200. That came from
What did she say here?
Go back again.
So, I mean, that's all been paid for. It's been on social media that it's greater than 200, and that is a toxic level. Anybody in healthcare would know that house, nobody should be living in that house at a greater than 200. That came from their sinks.
Yeah, so
that's water from their tap.
What she says to me, she accuses me of taking the samples from the yard in the creek. Is she crazy? Why would I care about the yard? Like she said, we already know it's sewage. Yes. So if I already know it's out there, I'm not going to waste it on that. I want to see what's coming out of the pipes
out of the tap.
house.
Yeah.
I mean, no, we didn't go out in the yard and take it. We took it from a faucet.
Okay, so I'm happy to follow up on that. I don't believe that White House have expressed that it came from their sink. I mean, all of the information that I have.
Okay. So at no point, knowing how water goes through and can contaminate, I think I was in the middle of a sentence here. So we know that the environment can get contaminated. That contamination can leak into wells. It can leak into homes. Why wouldn't we test the water?
Well, second, the homeowner is responsible for fixing their systems.
Okay, so hold on right there. It is the homeowner's responsibility to fix their system. The homeowners, even though the county contaminated it. Are you kidding me? I mean, I'm telling you right now, this county should be outraged that you have such an incompetent health administrator. This is unacceptable.
Yeah. Catherine, Tweety Bird is asking here, is she on a city water or a well?
No, these people are on wells.
Okay, so this is
they're the unincorporated.
Mm-hmm. It's in the unincorporated areas of Alexandria, Tweety Bird, in Madison County.
Personal, they're private systems.
Okay. But the health department, nobody's asking you to fix it. The health department has an obligation to make sure that people are safe. If the environment is being contaminated by your commissioners and you're contaminating somebody's home, you have an obligation to check that.
So back to homeowners responsible for fixing their own system. We are involved when it is
and
the sewage is expelled into the environment. That's how we get involved in this. But the homeowner is responsible for fixing their own system.
Okay, so you're telling me that when the county contaminates somebody's system, the health department has no responsibility?
The system is contaminating the environment. A private system is contaminating the environment. It is not the county contaminating somebody's system.
So why did IDEM say that it was the county commissioners who were responsible for this?
I feel like you really don't want to answer if you don't want to listen to what
I'm listening to you. IDEM said that
I'm confused. It's not like you're over talking her. Wait, why would she say that?
She
I feel like
feels like I am not willing to accept her answers. You're right. I'm not willing to accept these answers. The county has contaminated drains that they have not maintained. Those overflows have contaminated the environment. There, in turn, has contaminated these people's wells into their homes. Whose responsibility? I don't know. You tell me, Kristopher. You tell me, Kate. Whose responsibility is it to test the water of this home? She is saying that this is totally on the resident who lives there.
Tweety Bird said a couple things. Our lab tested our well, said the faucet wasn't adequate, and like I get that, like in a major test, and I think the county or someone would test that, but I understand why Katherine would test at the taps or whatever. Or did you test at the well? Where did you test?
We did all.
Okay. So that's that. And then Jacob Gill here says, Katherine, if no one said thank you for all you're doing, I, Jacob, from here in Phillips Edition, right beside Scott's Edition, and Alec say thank you. And Tweety Bird says, Health Department wasn't responsible in Delaware County either. Look, I get that. I think the driving point here is this is the commissioner's deal.
It is the commissioner's deal. But the thing is, she has a moral and ethical obligation to the people. And here's the thing. This family, Jacob Gill, I have a moral and ethical obligation to a community. Whether I like it or not, whether I'm in that area or not, I chose medicine to help people. For me to sit over here and stick my head in the sand and not be a voice of these people, are you kidding me? This is dangerous. This even gets better. The whole thing gets better.
Yeah, that's totally crazy. I saw that.
She doesn't like the fact. Yeah, she doesn't like the fact that I'm unwilling, not unable. I'm unwilling to accept the answer. I don't know. You know what? It's been 3 years. If you don't know by now, you better go figure it out.
Yeah, that's
the answer I would have had.
Yeah. Cecil, they're on a well. Well, she said that. All right, let's listen.
Commissioners are responsible for this. I took what you just said to me, and I want to know why IDEM said that the commissioners are responsible for that well. If IDEM felt that the patrons were responsible for that well, they would have said the patrons are. But they said the commissioners.
It is the private homeowner's responsibility to fix that system, their own system. But when it is systemic and there's a problem, we have to address it. And this is a floodway. We have to address it. We can't just address it with my home. Because these systems were put in the 50s.
Well, unfortunately, this is not real time, so we can't ask her why she doesn't know. It is just what it is. But maybe in the future, we could ask that, or I don't know. I mean, I don't know. So, maybe we know that, but
here's the thing: for her to say we can't address this home by home, are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's stupid.
It starts at one home, and then you go to the next. That's how you do this. This is how you collect data. You know, here's the thing. We have patient 0, and then we have patient 1, and then we have patient 2. It's how you do research.
I have a question.
Yes.
When she says that it's the homeowner's responsibility, that they need to fix their system, what is she suggesting that they do? They need to dig a new well?
Yes. And they need to fix everything that's been contaminated. Now, here's the kicker.
Now, here's my question then. So the land is contaminated because the drains have not been upkept. So what is digging a new well going to do for them besides put them into a new contaminated source?
And right there's the answer. Exactly. The Wyckoffs cannot do that. Even the people around, they can. The ground is contaminated. If they put a new well in, it's going to contaminate that one. And this is the part where she doesn't get it. Now, here's the thing. The Wyckoffs just went and they had to get an above ground well, but they have to and I don't know, it's a couple $1,000. And then to fill it, it's a couple $100 like every month or every other month. It's crazy. And this is the whole part that, and I don't even know what to say. You can say that I'm insulting Mellinger. People can be upset with me, but to accept this level of incompetence is shameful. Shameful. I mean, I can't even begin. If I had a student like this, I'd flunk them right out of the school.
Yeah.
And to imagine that the taxpayers are paying her. Let me tell people who are watching all this. Let me tell you something she hasn't missed. Because I think she's in her 7th year of being in this position. She hasn't missed a pay raise yet. Go into Gateway. Watch how her salary went from 40-some thousand and she's close to 80,000 now. In 7 years.
Woo.
Don't get me started on this. And then She comes to the table without any knowledge. You come to a public meeting to serve the people and you can't answer them. Do you know what would happen to me if patients showed up and said, and I'm like, hey, I checked your A1C, you're a diabetic. And then I go, yeah, I don't know how to treat that. I guess what I would tell you is just quit eating sweets. What are those sweets? I don't know. Whatever you put in your mouth, you'll have to figure that on your own.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is how ridiculous this sounds.
Yes.
What'd you
Thank
say?
you for clarifying what they meant by the homeowner needs to fix their system. And
How can they
and
fix
making
the
sure
system?
that it's clarifying that they're expected to dig a new well, clean out the pipes from all the contamination, and hope
That
to
was a good
hell that
question.
somehow or another the contaminated ground is not going to contaminate the new well.
And
I
this is
just
what
wanted
she's
to be
telling.
clear on that, so I appreciate you explaining.
Yes, that was good. That was
And
good.
she
Kate.
says it. She says that.
Well, and Tweety Bird says she's the lowest government worker on the totem pole, which I get. Go
Let
higher.
me tell you
And
something, Tweety. She is not the lowest. Okay. She absolutely is not the lowest. She is an appointed official.
well,
Okay.
yeah.
And I'm not going to know that in itself, let me tell you something. The health department has so much power in a county. They have a lot of power. So to say they are the lowest, no.
No, I don't think you. I get what she means. Meaning you can't get rid of her tomorrow. You can't get rid of her in November. You can get rid of the commissioners. You can get rid of the people that appoint her. So,
And do people
I
understand that?
I get what Tweety Bird's saying.
Do people understand? The commissioners appoint Mellinger.
Mhm.
This means that whatever she does, as long as she protects them,
Yeah, that's right. I had your back, Tweety Bird, for this
she's
part of the show.
golden.
But yeah,
But
I get, I get what you both mean, and I understand what you're saying too. They most definitely have power in the county, but I get what she's saying as far as
Teresa Rawlings says they have filtration systems for wells. Correct. But the problem is the area, and I'll show you video, the area is so contaminated. There's no filtration system that's going to work. They've tried that.
Yeah,
they've had all kinds of people out there. The Wyckoffs have people, you have no idea what the Wyckoffs have gone through, the mountains they have moved, only to be crapped on, to be dismissed,
literally
to be talked to like they are the dirt on the bottom of people's shoes. It is disgusting that we would treat any human being like this.
Yeah.
There is no reason for it.
Yes.
Understood. So, but my question is, but you didn't maintain the drain. That drain is contaminating the soil, which is then contaminating. So I guess here's a good example. So if a gas station contaminates the environment, right? You're telling me that the homeowners that live around that, there's no responsibility to the gas station? No, the spiller would be the county's drain. You are maintaining your own system, but it's overflowing is what becomes the problem. And that overflow is backing up to the house. So
she says
the system's failing.
It's the private citizens' well that's failing. I don't know where she studied public health. I don't know if she understands how contamination works or seepage or osmosis or whatever words you guys want to use. I am just baffled at the level that people will go to cover up anything to protect their own. Because I cannot even begin to imagine that she is this dense that she doesn't know that the environment can get into that well.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and here's the thing, if she has zero business being over the environmental section in the health department.
Yeah.
She has now failed her test to be a supervisor of that department. If she doesn't have the basic knowledge, she's certainly isn't going to get the upper knowledge.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is almost done. This is almost done between her and I.
Look, Kate said, look at her face. Look at her face here. Her face at any point we stop this, her face is like massive, crazy, resting bitch face.
Well, and her body language. And to
yeah.
say, I'm not willing to listen to her. I'm not willing. I'm very willing to listen. I'm very willing to understand. Very willing.
Yeah.
Because of the overflow from the drain. So is the drain up to speed?
So she doesn't even know if the drain is up to speed.
Out there where that drain is, it's contaminated. I was out there this weekend. There was toilet paper, there's feces, it's all over the place. Is there a reason why the health department doesn't warn people that they probably shouldn't play in that water? Because there were people out there canoeing in it, then playing in that water. Now, me, I would just look at it and not get in it, right? But we can say that in public health and in medicine, sometimes people aren't always have the knowledge that I guess we have, right? So is there a reason why we wouldn't post like to beware to not be in that water? Out there?
Well, hold it right there. So she says, I don't think there's notices out there right now because we just had a storm. Like moments before this meeting, there was a bad storm.
Yeah.
Okay. So she says, I don't think they're out there right now. Well, that's interesting. And I say this to her. That's interesting because I was out there on Saturday and there were no signs. But she says, yeah, we've had them out there before. Really? So go ahead and I mean, we're close to the end now.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Well, sure. I'm saying but they enter at their own risk. And I was out there this weekend. I know there is no signage that's up there. So that's the only thing. Now, can I ask? Yeah. Yes. I've got it on film. Just go watch my video. So listen, I'm with you on that. I don't disagree with you. Like I would look at it and say, and I would tell my kid, don't get in that. I'm with you on that. You know, common sense isn't always common. So I guess the next question is when did you learn about the issues out there at the Wyckoff's house with that drain? Was it? Okay, well, here's the thing. That drain is a county drain. So I'm asking you about that drain in that location. So it's not, Wyckoff's don't own the drain. The county owns the drain. When did you learn it? Okay, I guess over on 1100. It's not, because that's what we went and looked at that. It's right on the edge. So the question, you have to access the private property to get to it. But that area of the drain is the county's.
So what
you guys have, I mean, those been out there.
I'm not going to have discussion about people's personal property. And I'm telling her this drain is not personal property. I was just giving her the location.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's insane.
And really,
so when did you learn?
She doesn't know. I mean, that's
the bottom line. That's the bottom line. She doesn't know.
Learn that the drain was an issue. Okay. So
she can't recall.
Oh, help yourself. It was lovely to catch up with you too. I appreciate the answers.
What'd she say?
I don't know.
Back it up here.
It's lovely to catch up with you too. I appreciate the answers. Yeah.
We're probably not going to see eye to eye on some of this stuff.
And some things we are going to see eye to eye. Sure.
I appreciate you asking questions. I appreciate that if anyone to ask questions, I could just ask. People ask questions and listen with an open mind and not totally just think about the next question in your mind before the response comes out right now.
Well, here's the thing. I would appreciate.
What did she say?
So she says to me, I would appreciate that you you would listen and ask with an open mind and not in an accusatory way. I would appreciate it if you would listen to the answer before your mind starts thinking about the next question.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. When somebody says, I don't know, I'm like, okay, well, let's talk about the next thing.
Well, yeah, right. I mean, yeah, there's only so many ways to take I don't know.
Exactly.
That you come to the table with some answers because you know very well how long you've known about this well. And for you to stand here and tell me that you don't, that's not acceptable. Tell me. You weren't very respectful just now because I'm not thinking of the other thing. I'm thinking about what you're saying to me. I'm hearing what you're saying. Yes, I am. You said, I don't have an answer for that. Okay. I heard you. You said, I don't think there's signs, or well, you didn't say you didn't think there's signs out. You were saying, well, you don't think because of the storm. I'm telling you, there's no signs out there.
She does, Tweety Bird, but that's, I guess, you know, there's always a couple different ways to skin a cat. Like, my thing is,
here's the thing, Tweety Bird.
People ask me that same thing when they're like, well, wait a minute, you know, when you go in and you're talking to Dan, see, it just depends on what seat and where you're at. People like it when they don't like Dan, they like that I get in his ass. But the people that like him are like, well, wait a minute, why are you so hateful? And I'm like, well, because I've been asking him for 6 years.
And that's the same thing with this whole thing.
You know,
I'm in the same position. The people walk in here, there's no seats for them. You can only take it so far until you get to a level of frustration. And I'm going to tell you something, Tweety Bird. The people who know me do not think there was anything about me that was being aggressive. What people believe is that Katherine's very passionate about what she does. And what I'm very passionate about, Tweety Bird, is that the people deserve better than this. The people do not deserve to live in a cesspool. I am very confident when I speak.
And she, in all fairness, she says she's on your side.
I know that.
And listen, and I'll say, I agree with Tweety Bird. There, and it's just because we have different styles. There are times that I say, yep, Katherine's coming off too hot on this. And it's just because of different times and different experiences and things like that. It's just, there are times where I get very, very hot-headed, and there are times that I can let something go. So I get what you're saying, and it just depends on everybody's, you know, there's always a couple different ways to get to the, you know, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there.
And here's the thing. I wasn't running this meeting.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I don't know where Stephanie believes that I work for her or that I answer to her. Okay.
Yeah.
The commissioners, these appointed officials, they answer to us. And I'm telling you right now, anybody else would have backed down to her, would have taken her, because this is the way she is. She will demean you. She will talk down to you.
Yeah.
She will do whatever she wants. Well, I'm not that girl, and I'm never going to be.
Yeah.
Because wrong is wrong. Very wrong. So, and you might think, Tweety Bird, that everyone shuts down when they're met with aggression. But let me explain to you, Tweety Bird. I used to go in. I used to be real nice, used to be real kind, and it got me nowhere.
Yeah.
It got me gavelled. It's got me thrown out of meetings. So I don't really care how you want to look at it. At this point, somebody needs to be asking some tough questions and demanding some answers, because the only thing you got in this meeting that night was, I don't know. And you got it from everyone. You got it from the engineers that were staffing the tables. You got it from the county engineer. You got it from the commissioners. You got it from the health administrators. At what point, and these elected and appointed officials are like, why is everybody upset with us? Because you're not doing your homework. You're not coming prepared. I would not be in business if I answered to my patients the way these people answer. I would be out of business.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly. I don't owe Stephanie Mellinger anything. And here's the thing. I don't know if you saw at the beginning, Tweety Bird. I didn't approach Mellinger. She came to me.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yep.
I didn't approach her.
Yeah.
She asked me, do you have a question for me? Absolutely.
Yep. Yep.
So go ahead and listen, and then we'll see what happens.
That's fine.
I mean, I'm just answering you so you don't have to speculate.
Other areas, there are signs posted.
Okay, but I'm just talking about.
I mean, and I just look at her body language, and she came over like mission walking when she came over.
Yeah.
Her body language the whole time. All I think, because you're right, Katherine was amped up here, but it's because she's already pissed that a lot of other things are going wrong in the meeting so far. But in my opinion, all Katherine did was met Mellinger's aggression with aggression. That's all she did. She just didn't get bullied here. If Katherine would have been meek, Mellinger would have been the one that would have seemed aggressive. But because Katherine met that, it seems like, that's there. But I think, yeah. I mean, that whole thing when what she was just doing there with her hands. Watch.
I don't have an answer for that. Okay.
I mean, seeing this from a woman, this drives me nuts, because it's specifically like it's your wife yelling at you or your mother yelling at you. Watch this.
I heard you. You said, I don't think there's signs.
Look at how she's sitting here standing. She doesn't care. She's waiting. All she's waiting for is Katherine stop talking so she can get her point in, and watch what she does with her hands.
Well, you didn't say you didn't think there were signs out. You were saying, well, you don't think because of the storm. I'm telling you, there's no signs out there.
Okay, and that's fine.
I mean, I'm just answering you so you don't have to speculate.
Other areas, there are signs posted.
Okay, but I'm just talking about this area over here where I'm telling you somebody's over there in the water. That's what I'm telling you.
You know what? Thank you for telling me that. I will work on it.
I mean, that's
there. All right. Now we have to wait and see. She said, all right, thank you for telling me. I will work on it. Okay. Now here's what happens when they don't work on it. When something stupid happens and it's just more of the same nonsense, it's like, okay,
that's the whole thing. So my mind works faster than the average person. I understand that. And while you may think that I'm moving on to the next question, I'm not moving. I'm processing exactly what you're saying to me.
I just feel like we're disgusted, and that doesn't make you feel.
No, there doesn't.
Able to have civil conversation.
Absolutely. You came over here. I'm asking you, and you said, well, if we're done here, I'm going to go on. Okay.
No, I never said that.
Okay. You were moving on. And I was like trying to finish this conversation here to have a conversation with you.
And I'm appreciative of the conversation. I'm
mean,
just telling you.
I'm just trying to understand.
Okay. And I'm trying to tell you that we don't have all the answers, and we aren't going to have all the answers. This is an opportunity.
we're not going to have all the answers. This is an opportunity to have the answers, except no, I mean, and look, I will give it to her for standing here and talking to you.
I agree.
I agree. But I think it's absolutely preposterous that nobody else here knows what's going on. I think it's ridiculous that Little Miss Chewing Gum is flopping around here, walking around. Olivia Pratt and Tweedledum Ricky, don't know their ass from a hole in the ground.
Right. I gave her the options to walk away.
Yeah. And she sticks around, apparently.
But some of the answers are simple. Like, when did we find out that this was an issue? Your answer was, I'm not going to discuss somebody's private property. I'm just giving you the location. It wasn't them in general. Well, because I'm telling you the location. I don't know what else to say. You know that White House out on 1100? You might say, I got 10 White Houses out on 1100. So I was just giving you a location so you could coordinate it. I wasn't giving it to you to, I guess maybe I just say the White House on 1100. I don't know what the crossroad is there.
Well, and we are looking actually at the addition, not just a house.
Exactly. So there's another one that's up the road. How long have you known about that one? And that's what I'm saying. I don't have the location. I mean, it's this big house. It's across from. Do you want me to say the name of the person that the house is across from? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
I live west of the highway.
I feel like she realized how she was going to come off. And so now what she's doing is she's going back and kind of playing like trying to cover her ass, because I think she realized because she's now coming off much different than she has so far in the whole rest of this.
Because she's kind of figured out I do have the answers.
Yeah, right.
Years ago,
how long has this been a problem for this particular house or the house up the road? I can tell you that these additions are septic systems are starting to fix that, and so here we are trying to fix a systemic issue rather than just one or two houses. We've been doing that, and it's time to fix it.
Stumblefoot.
Not just home by home with bathing.
Right. So my question is how many IDEM reports estimated
does
the county have on the same type of situation?
I don't have the IDEM reports.
I don't have that information, of course.
IDEM came to us the transparent way that IDEM came to us. So,
And the reason why I'm looking at it is it's hard to hear you. So I'm like trying to, like, you have a very soft voice.
So I guess to say that again, IDEM came to us, I can't even remember the date.
It was in 22.
Yes. And that's when IDEM came to us and said we need to start to really address this problem. So here we are trying to address this problem.
Okay. So then when IDEM then issued a report, and I'll just tell you it was in 23, and it's about 6 months later, because this was about September of 22. When they came to you, and on the report it says this is a threat to human health, is what it said on there. It's a threat to human health. That's on the actual report. At that time, did you feel there was more of an urgency to address the issue out there, or that we're just going to go through the same motions that we would go with anybody else?
At that time, we wanted to again work with the homeowner to repair the existing septic system because this is a bigger problem than just one or two. At the same time, we
yes,
need to
Eric.
address the issues right then. To fix it, address it as best we could to reduce that risk to human health. And then upon it just continuing to be a problem, the Band-Aid was no longer working, and a complaint was made by a resident to IDEM, and so we need to fix the problem.
You mean, okay, I'm not following on that one. So when they got to you in 23, then you went back to IDEM and said it wasn't working?
No, IDEM. We met with IDEM in 2023.
22, it's September 22.
Yes, thank you.
And then in 23, I'm willing to give you the answers. I'm not
remembering timelines. So when we started to meet with IDEM and we started to formulate a plan on addressing this particular area that needed to be repaired, we did. We patched it, we repaired it, we worked with the homeowner, but it was clear it's not going to work as a permanent solution.
The patch wasn't going to work.
So we then went back and we started to plan with IDEM, and we are working on a more systemic solution.
So when the report comes into you, and on the report it says it's the commissioner's responsibility, right? Does the commissioners get that report first, or do you get the report first, or how does that happen?
I think in this case, it did not come to us first. So I don't know.
I only saw the commissioners on the report, so I didn't know how you got notified. If the commissioners come to you, or how that works.
The commissioners came to us, and us together. All those of us who needed to be or have concerns.
Okay. And so then from there, that's when you devise a plan, or do you just follow out the plan that the commissioners give you? I don't know what the...
We work on a plan together. We work on a plan not just on the county level, but also with IDEM representation.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so who's all at the table? Commissioners, health department, IDEM?
Surveyor has been there. We did have a meeting with the council at one point. Trying to remember all the players around the table, stakeholders around the table. That's it.
Okay.
Alexandria, City of Alexandria.
Oh, so the city was there, even though it was county. Oh. Okay. Okay. Hey, Kenny, do you have you want to talk to?
Do you want to get in here?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I wasn't trying to strong arm her or monopolize her. I'm willing to share her.
Well, that's good of you.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't there, and at the end of the day, I wasn't there, to, do anything but to get some answers because nobody else seemed to want to answer the questions.
Yeah.
So I sent you the video in Messenger. If you could just pull that up.
Oh my God.
We don't need to watch the video. He's just going to fast forward it to where the drain is so you can see what that looks like.
You sent it to me. To what to me?
The post in Messenger. I mean, the health department really should be advocating, Eric.
You sent me what? Okay, I got it.
She should be advocating, saying, listen, this is this is a threat to human health. We've got to move a little bit quicker. We've got to do something a little bit more,
Oh God, what am I doing with this?
Just pull it up and then fast forward it and you'll see when it gets to the drain.
Oh, we might be out of luck. There we go. Hold on.
We are at 1100 Bethel. We're at 1100 Bethel, and she's going to help me. And Bill.
So just go ahead and fast forward it. Go down. Yeah, keep going. So that's the house that we were going to.
We can go back and we can. There's the reason.
Where's the drain?
Why these on some type of
this is it.
schedule.
This is it.
What?
So,
but just like the
you are both talking. I don't know who's who.
Straight through where that tree is, right in the center.
Yeah.
The drain's back in there.
Okay.
This is where the Wyckoffs have a fence for their dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, we've seen pictures of this before.
Yeah, this is. I don't see any signs.
Sure. And
this is right here is just what I want people to look at. That all that has gotten into the ground. I mean, that's the Wyckoffs' home there to the side. They've put their whole life into rebuilding that. There was a tree evidently through it at one time. And so you don't see any signs around not to play in this. And you'll see they're canoeing in this and they're playing in this.
What do you mean? Who's canoeing in it? That's weird.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the whole thing. It's dangerous, people. It just is dangerous. And so
on this video, we see people canoeing in it.
Yeah, but I'd have to find the timestamp of it and everything. So this just and it all goes all the way back. I mean, it's not just it's everywhere. So just so you know, the videos are there for the people to watch.
And this is Lisa, right?
That's Lisa, and this is Saturday. So this was on Saturday that we went out there. The meeting was the Wednesday, so it followed it. So she's kind of explaining some of that. We walked down the alley here, and that's where all that's flooded with water. And when you go back there, there is feces and toilet paper, and the houses in the Scottsville are draining down into this thing. They're sewage. No one should live like this. This has been going on before 22, but finally IDEM got involved in 22. And now they're saying that it will be a couple more years before this can be fixed. The Wyckoffs are living out of an RV and they're having to pull it back and forth because they don't have water and they really don't have a way to get
water. Is that this lady's last name?
Wyckoff.
That's her last name?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And so they're wonderful people. I mean, they are salt of the earth people. They're down to earth people. I'm telling you, if you went over there and asked them to borrow a cup of sugar, they wouldn't even ask you to return it. They would absolutely be like, okay, they're just good people. No one deserves this. They don't deserve this. And I don't know why. And here's the thing. Everybody in this county should be outraged about this.
Right.
Everyone should be, because it could be one of us.
Yeah.
Now, here's the problem with this, everyone. The commissioners have levied up everything we've got in this county to pay for that $100 million jail.
Mm-hmm.
They are banking on us to take this regional utility district because they have no way, they don't have anything to leverage for it, right? They need $22.5 million to leverage for it. And so that's why they're coming back to us for that. Well, that's not fair. And what people need to understand is when you read that public notice, it says all of Monroe Township.
Yeah.
But right now they're only going to do the unincorporated. If you go look at the master comprehensive plan to the county, if this goes, they're wanting to do this to the entire county. That means people who are on septic systems, who've always had that just to themselves, they're going to make you hook up on into the city stuff, whichever that is, and you're going to pay. So I don't know about all of you, but we've already paid. The fact that they have mismanaged our money, the fact that they didn't take money out to support these drains and they didn't have them on a cycle where every so many years, all the different sections of the county are getting addressed, so they cycle through, that's on the elected officials. Now, I say that gently because shame on us for not paying more attention. And now it's the perfect storm.
Yep. This is what happened.
So now they want to triple dip is what they are. In this county, we're triple dipping. I used to say double dipping. But the reason why I say triple dipping is this county got $24.9 million in ARPA fund. They need 22.5 to fix that out there. Instead of our commissioners using that $24.9 million over the past several years, they stuck it in a bank account. In that bank account, they grew $5.5 million in interest.
Yep. So
now we're up to 24.9, 5.5, it's getting late. So we're over $30 million. So if they put 22.5 towards this, they'd still have $8 million left over. Okay. So the problem becomes they've mismanaged our grant money. Anybody who thinks grant money is free, all of us pay for it. I don't care what you think. I don't want to hear about it because I keep hearing that from people. No, we pay for it. So you've got our grant money. Then what you did is you got our property tax money.
Yep.
And when you felt that your property tax money was in jeopardy, what'd you do? You went and increased our assessments. And then after that, now you guys are like, hey, that's not enough. So now we want to come after more of your checkbook, more of your salaries.
Absolutely.
Here's a news flash. This isn't our screw up per se. It is. We elected these people, the majority of you. I did not elect these people. They're not who I casted my votes for. So we voted and we didn't pay attention. But at the end of the day, these people are taking home paychecks of our tax dollars. They have not been good stewards of our monies, but they have certainly cashed the checks and used the full benefits they receive from the county taxpayers for health insurance, retirement, and all that other jazz. That's who should be answering for this.
Absolutely.
If they want our paychecks and they want another piece of it, I will do it. As soon as they all turn in their weekly or bi-weekly pay stubs and the amount of money they're receiving back into the general fund.
Sure.
As soon as they give that up, especially Rich Wine, because he's the one that's been in the seat for over 24 years. So I'm hoping when we talk with Lisa, the newspaper wrote an article of this meeting. I'm not sure what delusional meeting Ken was at, but he had a completely different take. Unless you want to look at it real quick.
No, we'll look at it with Lisa because I think we need to have
crazy and off the chain at how positive he said this meeting was.
Amazing. It's amazing. Well, when he talks one-on-one with these people, it is wonderful and positive, and they tell him everything he wants to hear. And that's what he writes. It's nuts. I mean, I'm glad he's there, I guess, because at least somebody's writing something for us to bash on. Look, Muncie's dead. We have no newspaper. They write about news that's 2 months old, and so at least he's there. But he's just like the same thing Muncie goes through. It's just completely it's fairy tale land for these people.
Yeah, So, and at the end of the day, somebody has to fight for the people, whether it's me, Chris, Kate, whoever it is. But somebody has to fight for the people who need help.
Yeah.
And this township needs help.
Yeah. Well,
but I thank you for everybody who's listened tonight and has joined in tonight. And I hope it's been a great opportunity. And Tweety Bird, to you, I work on my delivery every single day. Don't think I'm not aware of it. I am, and I try my best to do my best. And how I put it is, say what you mean what you say, just don't say it mean. Well, I never think I'm doing that, but some people do feel that I come across that way. And as soon as you learn that it's my passion that's speaking, you'll get the reason why I talk the way I do. Because in healthcare, if you're my patient, I fight this hard for you too. So that's my spiel for tonight. And I have thoroughly enjoyed everybody for listening.
That was fantastic. We love it. All right. We will see you back here whenever we get Lisa, Monday or whenever that is, Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever day she gets off work. So let us know and we'll have you back, Katherine. Thank you very much. I appreciate it as always. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. Thank you. It's been a long show. 3 hours. Holy hell. Well, it's been fantastic. Take care. God bless. Have a wonderful weekend. Great rest of your night. Go Pacers tomorrow. I think we'll see what goes on. It'll be amazing. There is no show tomorrow, thank God. We will be back Sunday with another amazing week of episodes. Have a great weekend. God bless each and every one of you.
Hey, look what Stumblefoot did.
Thank you, Stumblefoot, for the 20. You don't have to do it as always, but I appreciate it always, always, always. So thank you. Thank you kindly. And listen, just to be clear for everyone leaving, I don't like swastikas. I don't support swastikas, no matter who's swastiking it up. But I also will never bitch about the left putting a swastika on their stupid flags and protest because they think they're conveying something. And I certainly am not going to stop somebody from sharing a meme of a flag that someone else has put into it. So swastikas are stupid. I'm not flying them. I'm not displaying them. Have at it. Rock and roll. Take care. God bless. Good night. Bye.